welcome back everyone, welcome back to another week, another edition of the Korean StarCraft League, the KSL week number 58. Ooh, it's great to be back here once again after a 2-week hiatus. We are back here with your weekly or bi-weekly dose of Korean StarCraft. I'm of course Showside VIP, and with me I'm joined by the amazing people in the chat, by these amazing players in the bracket as well. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys don't know how to look at the bracket yourselves. The bracket is live, the bracket is packed, and we are jumping into our first series. We're jumping into our first TVP, and spawning in the top left hand corner of side Delta we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Teal Protoss. It is Lunacy. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner we have as opponent, we have the Canadian Terran player, the Red Terran. It is Greenert, who is not green. Just saying. Este Greener, pap. Yes, the Greener. But good. Oh, but again, good morning, everyone. Good to be back here once again this lovely Saturday morning. I say morning, it's now 1 p.m. Now getting to the afternoon. But also welcome everyone in the chat. I see Este Demi, pap. You forgot about KSL, pappy. Demi, what's going on? Este Demi. Of course, we have a jam-packed weekend. We have KSL, we have STC, we have many more events on the horizon, of course. So make sure you check out the calendar, check out the events over the weekend. Ooh, as we are moving out with a bit of a probe scout. Again, across the map, it is going to be the proxy racks. It's going to be 2 racks opener. We have one at home. We have one across the map as well. 2 racks Reaper here from Greenert. Ideally looking to pose a threat to harass the middle line, maybe even catch some probe kills as well. Very aggressive start out of Greenert. Not the most all-in or not the most committed, but aggressive nonetheless. We'll see what Greenert can get done with this opener. Meanwhile, of course, Lunacy back across the map, just scouting, checking, does get eyes on the racks, and does attempt to delay the expansion, is going in for a follow-up scout, trying to get a read on what's going on, trying to make sure that everything is on the up and up, and will confirm the lack of CC. The longer this goes on, the more suspicious this does become, as the probe is locked into the main base, back at home. It's going to be a Zealot first, and Lunacy is looking for the proxy. Lunacy is scouting, Lunacy is searching, and Lunacy will barely not find it, for the Reaper has arrived. Zealot is out. She went 2 shield. Oh my god! that's a big reaction out of Lunacy. 2 shield batteries on the way. But the Reaper bypasses the main ramp, does get into the main, will pose a threat, and will threaten one of the probes. Probe's getting low. Ooh, can the Reaper snipe it? Up! Gets one. Does get one. One probe does go down. And alas, the other workers are getting quite low as well. Stalker has arrived. We can get a second probe though. 2 probes do 4, more Reapers across the map. 3 probes even. Oh my, not bad. Not a bad start. 3 probe kills. Reaper will be shut down, but we have 2 more where that came from. Alas, now with the shield batteries, with the wall off, Lunacy should be safe and sound as our 4th probe goes down, and the Zealot as well. I imagine Zealot should fall, but again, this was pretty big damage here. 4 probe kills, not just that, but 2 shield batteries as well. That was a big reaction. That was an overreaction out of Lunacy. That does put Greenert in a bit of a better position. Is still expanding, of course, is transitioning back at home. CC is on the way. The probe will confirm. The probe will confirm, as that is going to be a 5th worker falling for Lunacy. Oh my god! And we're not just going for the expand, we're going for a 3rd CC. Okay, interesting response here by Greenert. You have my attention, Bobby. Going 3 CC, 3 racks. In a very interesting manner here. Not the most typical setup for this build, but we're getting there nonetheless. Did I say 3 CC, 3 racks? Oh, no, yeah, okay. For a moment, I was like, are we building a 4th rack? No, it is floating back home, so we are settling in towards the mid-game, and if Lunacy isn't aggressive enough, if Lunacy doesn't punish, then Greenert will snowball out of control in the mid-game. Oh boy, there is potential. There's potential there to snowball. Meanwhile, Reaper's moving out across the map. Again, just containing our opponents here. Lunacy opting to go for the tech of choice of a Stargate. Checking the vision, Greenert, I believe, has not scouted the tech, is unaware of whether it's going to be a Robo, a Twilight Council, or a Stargate. Greenert, does poke in, but last cannot quite get much scouting information. If he dips into the natural, we'll confirm. For now, is in the dark. Oh, that is a fast factory even. Okay, interesting. So, very greedy here by Greenert. Very greedy play. Has a bare minimum to defend. I would even say does not have enough to defend. The Oracle moves out. Reapers will confirm. The Oracle will spend some energy on the Reapers. That will give Greener some time to respond. There we go. Cyclone immediately on the way. And again, these Reapers are buying time. A second Reaper goes down. and the Oracle will be running out of energy. Alas, just the single Oracle opener. It's not Stargate into Phoenixes, Stargate into any more committed play, Oracle into Blink. Interesting. A bit of a hard switch here for Lunacy. Working towards a ground-based army, working towards Blink Stalkers. So Lunacy does move out, catching another Reaper. Good pick off. One Reaper left. Behind this bunker, thankfully, is done. Oracle into the main, but last, not that much energy to work with. The Oracle won't get much done. And plenty of Marines to defend. The Green Earth will hold. Green Earth will be able to hold on. And so far, so good. Trying to catch another Adept. Looks like we will. We do confirm, though, big scout for Lunacy. I mean, with the Adept, with the Oracle earlier, the third TC was scouted, was spotted, and now Lunacy is aware of how greedy Green Earth is being, and how do you respond to the greed? I mean, we have a regular third base timing here from Lunacy, going for a Dark Shrine. That's an interesting choice. I mean, this is a way to try to punish greed, that is true, but on the downside, it's 3 orbital, which means we have that many more scans available. The likelihood of this DT follow-up actually getting damage done, it's not going to be as high. Oh, never mind. Okay, never mind. I mean, I agree with this decision. DTs most likely won't get much done because of the 3CC, so Lunacy will shift gears. Does shift gears entirely. We do have a Gateway Explosion on the way. Fortune +1 as well. We'll see how Lunacy does change his approach here. We're even trying to hide that stasis trap as well. Let's go. I appreciate it. Here we go, as Green Earth again has no intention of really pushing out and moving out across the map. We'll break free so we can expand and take a third base. So far, Lunacy doing a good job at just thinning out the Marine count before medevacs have arrived. But here comes the tank, and with these sieges, we should be able to slowly break out and expand and take that third. The stasis, oh my god, stays so close yet so far, and the Marines, no, they do get trapped, and the majority of the army is going to be stasis. With this, Lunacy can rotate, can try and delay the third base even longer. Yeah, the tank is out of range. Stim is done for the Marines, and I'm sure Lunacy hoping to bait out a Stim. Ooh, Marines are going down. Yeah, CC under fire. If we had those reinforcements, we could defend. The CC's taking a lot of damage. Oh my god, taking a lot of hits. There's our first Stim. Army did Stim forward. Stalkers blink away. Fourth Nexus on the way. I do like the timing of the fourth base. Again, Lunacy needs to rush into a fourth base economy. Taking into charge. +1. Temple Archives. But Green Earth looks like has stabilized on 3 bases. Is going to be able to get up and running. Is going to be able to stabilize. Because Shell on the way. +1. Whew. And now we can settle down and build up. And I mentioned before that because of the fast third TC, Green Earth will be able to snowball out of control in the mid game, and we are almost there. Green Earth has been building up. There's a reason why he's up in army supply right now, and soon he will push across the map. But there is another stasis. Oh! Okay, this time gets triggered. Does catch 1 tank. Green Earth does attempt to move out. And Stalkers will delay. Catching 2 Marines. Scan reveals the lack of 4th base at least. Green are now aware of the expansion. Well, meanwhile, Lunacy getting ready for a big Zealot counterattack at the same time. Again, Lunacy has eyes on the main army, and as Green Earth moves out, Lunacy will be moving in. Green Earth scans, confirms a 3rd base, confirms lack of gases, is aware this should mean it's a mass gateway composition, no Colossus, no Disruptors, just Zealots, Stalkers, and Archons. And I believe Storm has not been researched. So no Storm, no splash damage. At the same time, there's that Zealot run by. Does hit the 3rd base. Oh, tanks have yet to siege. Yeah, Zealots, they collapse on in. Tanks sieging up, but how many of them will go down before they get a shot off? 2 tanks. 2 tanks do fall instantly. 1 tank left. And suddenly the backbone of this army is that much weaker. At the same time, Zealots across the map, they get 6 SCVs, they catch reinforcements, and they are still not dealt with. The Zealots, they're getting so much done. At the same time, the final tank falls, medevac as well, and Green Earth is being picked apart. He's being picked apart at this point. What is there left? Yes, Marines and Marauders, but not much else. Has to pull away. Lunacy taking a 5th expansion. Just still building up. Oh, this I'm a little bit less certain of, but we are going for the dive. Zelda cleaned up Archon, putting in a lot of work, but the first Archon is gonna fall. The second Archon as well. It looks like Greener should hold on, but despite holding, the SCVs, so many SCVs going down, it's not going to be enough here as a GG gets called and Lunacy breaks through. Lunacy takes game number 1. GG. Again, very nice pickoffs by Lunacy, slowing down the army. More importantly, though, keeping tabs on the army. Because Lunacy had constant revelations, constant stasis traps, and was able to keep track of the main push, was able to punish it. The Zealot run-by was brutal. Likewise, catching the main army, catching the tanks as they were sieging as well. If it weren't for those couple of key moments here, then Greener would have snowballed out of control and could have broken the third, and maybe gotten the fourth, and snowballed from there. Was on a knife's edge, but Lunacy did deal with Greenart, and with that, Lunacy takes a lead. Does take a lead, and we'll see if he can close it out with a 2-0 or if Greenart can bounce back. I want to believe, especially after watching game 1, it wasn't the most one-sided of games. I want to believe that Greenart can pose a threat to Lunacy. Lunacy is a more of an accomplished, or at least regular player here in the KSL, as he's a Korean player, but we'll see how Greenart does compare. Now, I want to see the ace match, Pappy. Send it. Let's go. As we are loading into one of the smaller maps in the map pool, loading into Ghost River. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ghost River, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Teal Protoss. Representing himself, leading the series 1-0, it is Lunacy. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the Canadian Terran player, the Red Terran. Down on the series, looking to bounce back and force the ace match. It is Greenart. Here we go. We are going to be settling in, and we'll see how our players do decide to shift their builds. As a reminder, Greenart did open up 2 Rax Reaper last game and was able to get 5 probe kills. Like, again, the start of the game for Greenart was honestly pretty solid. To get 5 probes, to get into a 3rd TC follow-up, and to get away with it as well, to defend against the counterattack. Like, it was a very strong start for Greenart. Can he replicate that success? From the side of Lunacy, if you remember, went for a Stargate opener into an Oracle, into a Blink follow-up with heavy gateways. Did think about DTs last game, and that tells us that DTs might be on the mind, and here in game 2, we might even see them come to fruition. Might even see some of them invisible men all over the place. Everywhere. We'll see. Alas, it was cancelled last game, and I'm all for it. I wasn't too fond of the DT follow-up, and Lunacy did think otherwise as well. But we'll see if there's space for it and a place for it here in game 2. Catching up in the chat. Pretty sure Greenart is Canadian. Yes, he is. He is. I've been introducing him as a Canadian. I apologize if that was not made clear. All right, someone's asking, only Koreans and those living in Korea can participate? No, that is not true. It is open to everyone. It is open to all players. It is focused on a Korean time zone and focused on the Korean server, but anyone can play. If you look at the bracket, we have players from Vietnam, we have players from Canada, we have players from the Americas as well. It is open to all, just has restrictions on server and of course the allocated time as well. A reason why we don't get many, if any, Europeans playing in this. I remember there was like 1 week where we had Bratok. Shout out to Bratok for competing that one time. But it's very rare for Europeans to play in this. Not just because right now it's like what, 4 a.m. It's really late in Europe, so most Europeans are sleeping. On top of that, because of the forcing, or because the games are played on the Korean server, it's just really bad ping for Europeans, so they just don't bother. Typically, again, there was that one time we had Bratok. I think maybe Wayne played once as well, maybe. But yeah, it is more of a rarity. As behind this, we do have our initial openers here. Was double gas opener, later expansion, CC's delayed. Cyclones are on the way. The Cyclones will shut this down, but that is a massive delay on the command center. Ay, not like this. Adepts will shade away, and so far the damage has been done. They killed 1 SCV, and again, a heavy delay in the expansion. Reaper gets across the map. That is a second factory. Oh my god. Greener, what are we cooking? Let's go. We're cooking something wild, Bobby. Oh my god, Adepts, they will not be allowed into the main. More Cyclones on the way. With the reactor, I imagine just Mass Cyclone. And Mass Cyclone used to be a thing as we delay the CC even further. Ay. Big delay here. As we're at the 4-minute mark, and just now the commands are just finishing up. But this build was a lot more prevalent in the meta a couple of months ago in the previous patch. For those of you that were around, of course, at the start of the year, the Cyclone patch, when the Cyclone was more of a menace and it was being massed in every single matchup, we did see Mass Cyclone have its own stint in this matchup as well, and it was terrifying. It was disgusting. Ever since then, I haven't really seen this too often. I think I've seen Gumiho go, no, sorry, not Gumiho, Homeowner recently, a week ago or a couple of days ago, did actually have a TVP where he also massed Cyclone. I think Homeowner went up to 12. It was on Golden Aura, if you remember. It was on Golden Aura. He went up to 12 Cyclones and then transitioned into a more biocentric army. I say that he was playing very turtly, yes, but switched out of Cyclone into Bio. Here this time, Green Earths, we'll see where we stop, as we are once again getting 12 Cyclones, and we could go further from there. Oh boy. Cyclones are moving out. Ooh, and the Stalkers, they barely do catch a glimpse. Cyclones are spotted. Observer coming in. Stalkers, they will be able to engage. Likewise, the Cyclones, they get their lock-ons. They take down a Stalker, take down barely, not a second. Blink is done. These are rough trades with the Stalkers. They're going down one after the other. There's 3 Stalkers left. 3 versus 3. Up. Oh my god, down to 2. 2 Stalkers remaining. Meanwhile, more reinforcements are on the way, and Green Earth does break through the Stalkers. Gets on top of the 3rd base. Attempts to force a cancel. Meanwhile, Lunacy has time to rebuild, to warp in. But I don't think he can save the expansion. He's going to try, though. Lunacy, he will try. Will he succeed, though? The Zealot did tank a lot of those lock-ons. Oh my god, but the DPS is just too damn high. We rally across the map. The rush distance by ground is so short on this map. We're rallying across and we are just overwhelming Lunacy. The boys have arrived! The boys are here! The repairs! They top up the Cyclones. The base is going to be killed, not cancelled. And what? No Immortals. There's a Robo. There's a Robo that's been chronoed, but no Immortals coming out. Without Immortals, without something more robust here, the Stalkers, they cannot hold their own. And lock-ons are brutal. Even with the shield battery, it doesn't even matter. Overcharge gets popped, shield battery gets targeted down. And there's 5 Stalkers left. They're barely standing. Where are the boys? Oh, get in there, Pappy. Get in there. Boys are being pulled. Probes are going down. Oh, this is becoming too much. It's becoming game-ending damage. Lunacy may have delayed the expansion for so long, but what about his own bases back at home? As the boys, they now finally come back in. Barely trying to get repairs off. And there's almost nothing left. Dark Shrine finish. Oh, the Dark Shrine gets scouted. The Dark Shrine has been thrown down. We spoke about it earlier about maybe the resurgence of the Dark Shrine or DTs here in game number 2, as we didn't quite get them in game 1. We have 1 DT waddling in. Do we have a scan? We do. There is a scan available. And there it is. DT will actually get out of scan range, though. Uh-oh. Does get out of range. Lunacy on 22 workers. Losing another Zealot, but it looks like Green Earth has to back off. Has to retreat, has to back off. And is building back up back at home, still going Mass Cyclone. And again, how do you deal with Mass Cyclone? I mean, Immortals for one. Again, Immortals are quite tanky. They do bonus damage, of course, to said Cyclones. That's also why Mech isn't as viable against Protoss, but alas, we just have been focusing on purely gateway units, on Stalkers, on DTs. And Lunacy, he's in a bit of trouble. I mean, he's down to 1.5 bases. The Mass Cyclone, the Mass Cyclone is popping off. DT does waddle in, does spot the move out. Missile turrets are ready. And we have a Raven on the way. There's a scan. Keen eyes at a Green Earth, does notice. And Green Earth has to be careful. There's no reason to push in. There's no reason to break into the natural. All Green Earth has to do is deny the 3rd. Just chill, calm down, deny the 3rd base, throw down more Raxes, throw down a 3rd CC. 3rd CC is already done in the main. We have an armory on the way, and which we just have to build up. Just build up, play it slow, play it steady, take a breath. Like, I'm sure the adrenaline is pumping, Bobby. I'm sure Green Earth, he's like, I'm so close to just killing Lunacy. And he's going in once again. Does have the Raven. Raven almost gets targeted down. Overcharge gets popped. And we do see Lunacy trying to make a stand. We do have the auto tower though. GG gets called. It's going to be too much. And Greenert breaks through, ties up the series. We are going to the ace match. Let's go. Let's go, Bobby. Let's go. GG. Oh, settling in and diving into the ace match. Again, Lunacy made a tough call. I'm referring to the moment where Lunacy tried to fight and tried to save the third base. I do think that was a bit of a mistake. Lunacy fighting without any shield batteries, fighting without his defense advantage, and did, again, fight for that third. In the end, it cost him his army, it cost him the third base as well. Everything snowballed out of control from that moment, and from there, Greenert was able to break the natural as well. Lunacy, like myself included, to be fair, not really expecting the damage output of those cyclones to be as great as it was, as severe as it was. Things very quickly snowballed out of control, despite the blink control and the blink stalkers. It was just too much. And GG, Greenert popping up. And now we're jumping into the next game. Now, something I should emphasize as well, this build from Greenert specifically is that much more powerful on that map, on a Ghost River, because it has short the rush distances by ground. You can just rally across the map, and it takes seconds for units to meet up with your main army. So that kind of aggressive build and all-ins are favored on a small map like Ghost River. Here on a larger map, less so. So we should be seeing something different. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Crimson Court, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Teal Protoss, representing, being forced into the ace match, being forced into game 3. Can he bounce back? It is Lunacy. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Red Terran player, representing Orphanland of Canada, representing himself, but tying up the series and forcing the ace match. Can he keep going? It is Greenert. Go. So we've already had some wild builds this game, this series, and we'll see how the series concludes. We'll see what is done here in the ace match. Keep an eye on both Greenert and Lunacy. For now, 2 racks opener. Okay, I mean the probe should confirm, and the probe will confirm as well, so bold move by Greenert to go for this build, especially it's very similar to what we saw in game 1, but everything's back at home and everything's scouted as well, so Lunacy will be playing safe. Now in game 1, if you remember, Lunacy did overreact by throwing down extra shield batteries at the natural. I imagine he won't react as hard this time, but we'll approach this in a more safer map. So Gate Cyber expand here from Lunacy. Everything looking as it should. My eyes are definitely on Greenert. I'm curious if he's waiting to deal with this probe and then throw down like another Rax or a factory into a one base all in. I'm curious if that's the plan here. We'll see what is done once the probe is cleaned up by the Reaper. Because again, like, Greenert getting scattered already here is a little bit less than ideal, so I'm curious if there's layers to this build. As the probe is going to be recalled back home, is going to be saved. Nicely done here by Lunacy. Reaper moves out. And we have, of course, 2 more Reapers on the way back at home. We should be setting up with shield batteries. There we go, shield battery in the main base mineral line. So this time, if you remember in game 1, Greenert killed 5 probes. This time, it's going to be difficult to even get 1. So far, a good reaction of CC on the high ground into our add-ons. Greenert is going to be committing into, I believe, 4 Reapers? 3. Okay. 3 Reapers for Greenert. Just the 3. And he doesn't even attempt to poke in. He's going to be staying here in the center of the map, working towards a much faster transition into Reactor Tech Lab. If you remember, in game 1, Greenert did go up to 4 Reapers, I believe. Went up to 4 Reapers, or was it 5? It was either 4 or 5. I think it might have been 5. So he committed a little bit harder. This time, faster transition into Stim, of course. This can lead into a 3 racks. True. Reapers, they dive into the main base. Shield battery putting in a lot of work, and so far, not a single probe goes down. So far, nice defense out of Lunacy. We'll defend, we'll deflect the army. And from here, we are still building up. The probe scout does confirm, so nicely done here by Lunacy. We'll lose a probe, but Lunacy is now fully aware of what's going on, and the chances of this turning into a 3 ranks or committed bio play is quite high. Factory follow-up here from Greenert. Okay, so it looks like we're leaning towards a 2-1-1. Now, what I'm gonna be keeping my eye out for is gonna be either a third Rax or a Starport. We'll see. If it's gonna be a third Rax, it should be a 2-base all-in. If it's a Starport, then a 2-1-1 into a longer game. The other option would be a third CC, which would be quite greedy. So, do we see greed, aggression, all-in? What's it gonna be? As the Oracle does dip into the main with Stargate opener, Oracle has arrived. Marines out of position. No. Yeah, Marines are not quite able to respond in time. 2 probes go down. 3 SCVs even. 4 SCVs. Getting up to 5. 5, almost 6 SCVs going down. The Oracle takes a lot of damage, but the Oracle will escape. And that is a lot of lost mining time. Based on this much damage, 5 SCVs, lost mining time, second Oracle, third Oracle on the way. That's a big commitment this time for Lunacy. Getting for 3 Oracles, delaying the Twilight Council in favor of Mass Oracle. I wouldn't be opposed to an all-in, but Starport out of Greenert. I was gonna say, because there's so much damage being done, I wouldn't be opposed to going for like a... It's too late for a third Rax now, I guess. I was gonna say a 2-base all-in where you pull the boys, but we're not set up for it. Instead, it is gonna be a 2-1-1. Third base being taken, Oracle's into the main. And Greener, he just doesn't have enough DPS. The Marines, they go down one after the other. And this is becoming critical damage. This is far too much. 6, 7 SCVs. Ay, ay, ay. Not like this, papi. As Lunacy pops off in the main, Reapers across the map don't get much done. And Greener's being pulled apart here. I mean, the bunker should be able to hold on. We can repair, of course, pull the boys to keep that bunker up and running. Tank now arriving as well. But this is a very rough position for Greenert as Lunacy takes a third. Taking up, but Blink is on the way. Forge for +1. More Stalkers rallying across the map. And Lunacy is just containing his opponent. And this build of Greenert ideally wanted to move out with some drop play, but the Marine count is so thinned out already. And I'm not so sure Greenert can ever leave. I don't think he can. As Oracles, they come in from behind. They go for the middle line once again. This time the natural. We do have Stim. The Oracles are going to be forced back, but the bunker does fall. Again, just pulling Greenert apart. Across the map, at least 2 probes did get picked up by the Reapers, but Reapers likewise being shut down. Dark Shrine on the way. In this scenario, I do like the Dark Shrine just because Greenert has limited economy. Because so many SCVs have gone down, I mean, we've been muling. Like, Greenert, he's had to mule so hard here to keep himself afloat. There is a turret in the natural. Lunacy does spot it, but there is no turret in the... Oh, no, never mind. There is a turret in the main base as well. So dealing economic damage in either of these bases is going to be difficult. We'll see how we use the Dark Shrine. We'll see how Lunacy makes use of the DTs as we blink into the main. The tank goes down. Oh, no. Stasis is baited out. Nicely done. See Greenert holding onto the stim. Doesn't waste it. I mean, there's no medevacs. Second medevacs on the way. That's the first one, did get across the map. Another tank falls. The Marines, they stim in, they will scout the Dark Shrine. A nice gap here from Greenert. He will get into the mineral line, 3 probes do fall, and this will drag Lunacy back home. This drop isn't necessarily doing critical damage, but it's just giving Greenert breathing room to expand, to settle in, to play some StarCraft. As I say that though, the Oracles, they still do pose a threat, and they're coming back in. Keeping tabs on Greenert. And there is still no third CC. And it looks like there isn't going to be one. We had a choice to make. Third CC or Raxes. We're going for the 3 Raxes instead. Oh my look. Greenert is going to be stasis. Okay, third CC now on the way. Very late third. 4th base already in production for Lunacy. And we're pulling the boy. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not ideal, not the ideal scenario to pull the boys, but Greeno knows there's nothing else we can do at this point. Boys are being pulled. It has to be the all-in. Still going for the third CC though. Let's go. A bit of everything. And Lunacy does scout the all-in, does scout the boys being pulled. We'll try to chip away at the army from the back line. DTs as well. Oh my god. I mean, they're going to be ideal in this scenario. Do we have a scan? Overcharges, pop the oracles, they go ham. One tank falls. There's still two more on the high ground. DT stuck in the back line. There's a scan. Two DTs go down. More reinforcements being caught out. And Greenert will kill the third, but the third doesn't matter too much. There's already a fourth on the way. Greenert needs more damage. More DTs waddling in. There's a scan. Oh my god, the juggling! The pickup saves the tanks. Very nice control out of Greenert. But the SCVs, they're being thinned out. One after the other. Another Dark Templar does waddle in. And down goes the entire army. The tanks, the Liberators, the Marines, the boys, everything. And this is all that Greenert had left. Again, it was just a rough game, a rough start to the game as well. Greenert just never really got any momentum. And it led into this game saying, GG, well played, good luck, and Lunacy will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the next round. GG. Whew. Let's go. GG, well played. I mean, it was a very explosive series, went all the way to the ace match. It was great to see both Lunacy and Greenert pop off, especially in game number 2. But again, here in game 3, it was just a really rough start for Greenert. When it comes to the initial opener being scattered, when it comes to the follow-up being punished as well, with the oracles, with the stalkers, it was, yeah, Lunacy was just all over Greenert and just never really allowed him to get into his initial build, which was supposed to be a 2-1-1. It was supposed to be a stim timing with the 2-1-1 with 2 medevacs, but alas, Greenert lost too much in the lead up to that, and it did end up falling apart. Did commit to an all-in towards the end. It was kind of the only real option, but even then, like, he wasn't really set up for a 2-base all-in. GG, well played. With that, Lunacy will advance on into the next round, and let's catch up on the bracket and on that series. Let's go. Let us go. Just catching up in the chat. And let's switch our scenes over and catch up together. Let's go. Oh my god, the entire first round's already done. I wasn't expecting it to be going by that fast. There we go, just setting things up and pushing things through. Okay, from the top, let's move the bracket over. We have Dark. Dark takes down... Oh. Dark takes down Hormono 2-0, advancing on to the next round. Rebellion takes down Triple 2-0. Now we have the upper quarterfinals ready. Dark versus Rebellion in that round of 8. Scrolling down, we have Classic versus Gumiho. Gumiho takes down Gemini. We have Classic taking down Bulgom as well. Classic versus Gumiho in the PvT. Going to be an amazing series, I'm sure. Scrolling down, we have Shin getting a walkover over Poriforian. Not less than ideal to see a walkover, but regardless, Shin does advance on to face off against Lunacy in the round of 8. And scrolling down, we have Bjorn versus Miomaika. Miomaika takes down Luciano 2-0. Bjorn takes down SE2 Hobu 2-0 as well. And the entirety of the round of 8 is upon us. We got lucky in a sense. I mean, I saw the first round. I saw what I wanted. Lunacy versus Greenert, the only series that went to the ace match. We just know how to pick them, Papi. We know, Papi. We know. So we got lucky there. And again, we're following Lunacy into Shin. That's going to be our next series on the channel. Yeah, it's going to be our next series. Yeah, beautiful. Here we go. Aw. Oh, Shin was asking, like, oh, do you have a co-caster today, Light? And I'm like, no, I'm on my own. And he was like, oh, alone. He was expressing his sympathy. much love to Shin, much love. But here we go, we're jumping into our next series, and something that I forgot in the first series, I did forget it, so now you can embrace it. If you're in the chat, you know what time it is. You know what time it is, Papi. It is time to get your gamba going. Predictions are open. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Alcyone, my apologies. We have our South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Gaimin Gladiators. It is a Shin. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Teal Protoss. It is LunaSea. And I'm catching up in the chat. Oh, let's go. We're going for the gold. Before I haven't been able to read the chat at all today. I've been just so engrossed in the games, and I can't stop. Shin, mine through Zamino patches. He goes for the gold. Aggressive Zerg players like Shin, like Dark, Raynor, we've seen him do it as well. Rushing into the gold in Alcyone is not an unheard of tactic. Now, a lot of the Korean Protoss players, because they're so used to this, players like Classic, players like Hero, players like Trap, if they do go for the probe scout, which they often do, if they scout this, they respond with a forge, with a pylon, with the cannons, and they usually are able to force a cancel and force a bit of a more standard game state. But alas, that is not the case here. We do see LunaSea did not go for a single probe scout. LunaSea is in the dark. Ooh, which means Shin will get away with the expansion, will get away with the gold. It's going to be a short series. I can already feel it. Let's go. Meanwhile, just catching up in the chat. Reaper Grenade should apply Concussive Shell. Cap. Haven't seen an individual blink in either game. We saw individual blink control on Ghost River. On Ghost River when LunaSea was defending against the Mass Cyclones. He was blinking individually. It was happening. Estel's Protoss. See Rocker in the chat. Bienvenidos. Didn't see him before. Sort of has been, he's been a pro player for a long time. He's a bit of an old school pro player. If you're maybe a newer viewer of the chat, then maybe you're unfamiliar with Sort of. But Sort of has been competing since like Wings, maybe? I know at least Heart of the Swarm, which would have been what, 2015, 2014? But I'm not sure when Sort of debuted, which I imagine was Wings of Liberty, but he's been around for a while. It's been have to check. DT, oh, let's go. Okay, a couple of things going on. Let's focus on the game here as we rush into the gold, and Shin is link flooding. Shin, he is flooding links across the map. Meanwhile, LunaSea opening up Twilight Council into a Dark Shrine, into Dark Templar. Oh boy, but will that help in the defense here as the wall is looking quite vulnerable? No shield battery. There is a force field available, thankfully, but the Dark Shrine is only halfway done, and Shin is looking to break through with purely Link. Let's go. Lings have arrived again. They can get good service area on the gateway, going for the Stalker initially. Yeah, the Stalker, the gateway as well. And the Lings will break through. We do have... No! Hallucination! No! He hallucinated, scouted. The hallucination instead of the force field. And with that, the Lings are going to be able to break through. No! The hallucination! Not like this! Ay. And with that, without a force field, this wall is going to crumble. We do have Warp Gate. No Warp Gate! There's no Warp Gate. The gateway is still barely powered. Sentry will fall back. No, on the wrong side! On the other side, though, there was no other room. Sentry does fall, and I mean, the Dark Shrine is at least done. And there we go. 1 DT warping in. Gateway does fall. Any gateways in the main? No, not a single gateway. No more production. What you see is what you get. That 1 DT has a lot of work to do, but things they flood in. They flood in. Sentry goes down. GG gets called, and Shin overwhelms and takes game number 1. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. Shin does take the first game here. Again, Lunacy, unfortunately, no probe scout. Unfortunately, Lunacy was focusing on his own game, on his own build. Alas, was unable to scout, confirm the gold base being taken, unable to punish it, unable to deny it, unable to get ready for what was to come. And, yeah, was also a little bit unlucky that the first spell used by the sentry was also a hallucination. Ooh, and I think that was actually a mistake. Hold on. Translating. Yeah. Oh no. Fun fact, Lunacy did admit, and I'm pretty sure that was the case because you don't often hallucinate a war prism. The hallucination was a misclick. No. So that hallucinated war prism was not meant to be. Was not meant to be. Aye. And here we go. We're getting into game number 2, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Gaimin Gladiators. It is Shin. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player, the Teal Protoss. We'll see if he can bounce back. It is Lunacy. Oh, hello, Mido. Hello. It's been a while. Hope you're well. Oh, thank you, Mido. Thank you. I do appreciate it. Hope you've been doing well. Hope you've been doing well yourself. Of course, we've just been busy here casting. Always, as always. Beyond versus me on Dave's Test stream. Yeah. Dave, he's got the lower matches. We've got our own series, of course. Unfortunately, this week there is no Chicken Man. Chicken Man does usually cover this event as well, alongside Dave Testa. But this week, Chicken Man is unavailable, so it's just ourselves and Dave. And I don't think there's Steadfast either. I think Steadfast sometimes casts KSL as well. Yeah, so it's just ourselves, Dave, and Enki. Of course, big shout to Enki. Ellen Mosso. Cannon Rush! Let's go. I mentioned earlier how a way to punish a proxying player on Alkyone is to respond with cannons, but this time we just commit. Forge expand here from Lunacy. The purpose of this build is to force a cancel. This is not a committed cheese. This is not designed to kill Shin. It is designed to cancel the expansion and try to put Shin behind in the economy. Cannons are on the way. Shin walled off from his own main. Pylons are cancelled. Second cannon has been thrown down. Ooh, and Shin responding with a Roach Warren, responding with a Spine Crawl on the high ground. We'll see if Shin can save the base. Oh boy. Late Wings of Liberty, if I recall. Yeah. Been around for a long time. Looked like Hallucination was to kill the Overlord on the pillar. I mean, maybe, but I mean, Lunacy did say that it was a mistake, it was a misclick, so. Did admit. And it wouldn't have been to kill the Overlord, because the only anti-air that he had was a Sentry. So that I'm less certain of. But for now, Roaches are on the way. So we are going to be flooding Roaches, and the goal here for Shin should be not just to break this position, but to move out across the map and to break Lunacy. Oh boy. Here we go. Pylon was thrown down to deny the follow-up expansion. Roaches are popping out. Ooh, as it looks like, oh, we barely will spread creep. Shin with the tumor. Throws down the tumor. The Spine Crawler should be within range. And this will eventually be cleaned up. Meanwhile, Shin rallying across the map. The goal here is to try to break through that natural base. Shin making a drone. Attempting to eventually re-expand. And with these Ravagers, what can he get done? There's 2 pylons, there's a cannon, no shield battery. No units to speak of, not yet. First Stalker's on the way. And there we go. We're going for the cannon. Cannon is going to go down. There's nothing here. There's literally nothing. The boys have to be pulled. Oh my god. There's nothing to defend. Nice stutter stepping here at a Shin. We'll focus on 6 probes already. The Stalker is about to pop out. The blast. Oh my god. They graze the Stalker. 11 probe kills. Stalker is under fire. No shield battery yet. We have to. No, the Stalker goes down. Second Stalker does pop. Shield battery will finish. Not before the pylon falls. Overcharge gets swapped behind this. Shin is expanding. Shin is droning. But Shin is not done. We're going for the shield battery. Oh my god. One more shot. Casito. Another volley. Ooh. Nice control. Pulling away those weakened Ravagers. Shield battery goes down. Down to 3 Ravagers left. And what else can he get done? Bypassing the main army or bypassing the Stalker. Going into the main. Getting another probe kill. Otherwise. Oh my god. And Shin won't necessarily kill Lunacy, but will cripple him. Lunacy is going to be crippled, is going to be shut down. 7 probes falling, 8 probes even. In total, 21 probe kills, an insane amount of damage against Shin. He was so fast to counterattack, he was so quick to move out across the map, and did punish Lunacy so incredibly much. And back at home, Shin re-expanding, droning up, getting into link speed, and building up towards a longer game. And we'll see if Lunacy can replicate that success. With the Spine Crawlers, I don't think Lunacy can break the natural, but can potentially deny the expansion. Yeah. Third base should be cancelled. Links are on the way, but there's no link speed. As the expansion is getting lower. More links amassing. Shin does threaten a dive and does buy time. The hatchery, oh, it is so low. And it should fall. But link speed about to finish up. He's committing. Up. Oh my god, it's so close. Link speed does kick in. More links flooding forward. Nice stutter stepping out of Lunacy. But more links have arrived. And again, Lunacy, does he not get the base? No, shot the base. It was so close to falling. It was like 2 more volleys. Now it has built up more HP. And Shin will hold. Oh my god, shuts down the Stalkers, saves the expansion. Oh, that should not have happened. Oh no. Aye. And Lunacy is in a world of hurt. So we have a first cannon on the way. This third base is not going to get up and running. Lings, I mean, they can just ignore the base. They can go for the natural. And the probe taking a lot of damage. There's another warp in. Lings, they rotate over towards the expansion. More links have arrived. And this base is not going to get up and running. There's the cancellation. Oof. And we're turning this into a 2-base all-in. Oh boy. Lunacy getting up to 6 gates. My apologies, yeah. 6 gateways here from Lunacy. On 2 bases, taking more gases. And it's going to be Glaives. Glaives is the tech of choice here for Lunacy. And okay. Alright, let's go. Not just Glaives, but a Dark Shrine as well. ¿Por qué no los dos? Why not both, papi? Why not both? True. In true Lunacy. Oh no. But Shin is all over this. Goes into the main base with the Overlord. Does scout everything in the main. The gateways, the Researching Twilight Council, and the Dark Shrine as well. Shin, calm down. Oh my god. It's on fire, papi. Back at home, we do have another expansion on the way, getting a 4th. Lunacy was stuck on 2 bases. Shin should be responding with, yeah, Roach Speed. Roach Speed is on the way. Gonna be Ling Roach for the time being, or Ling Roach Ravager. And the likelihood of this glaive attack push doing damage is that much lower now. As Shin should be ready for it. More depth warping in. How did the tumor go down? I mean, he barely got it. on the edge, pal. It was crazy. Things gonna be collapsing in. They force cancellation. And again, there's just no expanding here. There's no shot. Adepts forced to pull away. The boys being shut down as well. Lunacy going into Shadow Stride. Let's go. League for the DTs. Another probe falling. But I believe it was this tumor initially, if I'm not mistaken. I can double check. Meanwhile, we do have quite a massive amount of adepts. This is where roaches would have to come into play, and we did have the roach warren, but how many roaches do we have? 0. Uh-oh. 0 roaches for Shin. Papi. We saw this coming ahead of time, and Shin does wall off at the natural, but still just relying on purely Ling with +1. It's purely +1 Lings. Nice positioning here with the adepts up against the wall. And the adepts, they will trade well, and they annihilate the Lings. Again, pure Ling does not trade well against Glaive adepts, as they shade into the third. And this is the best fight that Lunacy could have hoped for. Again, despite the roach production, despite the roach tech, there's no roaches whatsoever. And the adepts will be cleaned up, but how many Lings? 138! Oh my god. 138 Lings, Papi. That's crazy. So many Lings falling. Doesn't deal any critical economic damage, but I mean, the value, the efficiency, it's there. So Shin being a little bit greedy in his response is what I will say. But the adept count is thinned out, and Shin will defend. Not the most efficient trade out of Shin, but I guess it worked, I guess. It wasn't pretty. DT's walling across the map. Remember, they do have Blink. They have Shadow Stride. Collapsing on the third. You force the overcharge. Overcharge is going to buy some time. DT's still moving out. But here come the Bailings. Oh. Yeah, the Bailings have arrived. They crash into the Dark Templar. They crash into the natural base as well. But there are more adepts, and these Lings will eventually be shut down. And here come the DTs. Ooh, the Spore goes down. The Spore has fallen. No detection. Uh-oh. No detection. The expansion is going to fall as well. Lunacy, he's fighting back. He defends back. Anomi saves the mineral line. And he also breaks the fourth. Lunacy is still in this. As Shin gets knocked down to 3 bases. Again, 3 bases of Lunacy. Now, tech-wise, Lunacy is still in a rough position. It's still only gateway units. And here comes the next wave of Banelings. Banelings once again making their way towards that third. Oh, they do split. Oh no, there's no way out. Oh my god, massive connections. And 9 probes fall, and here come the Ling Flood. Looks like finally the third base has been broken. This time there is no shield battery. This time there's no reinforcements. GG gets called. And Shin breaks Lunacy's third and advances on to the semifinals. GG. Let's go. GG, well played. A very chaotic series is maybe the best way of putting game 1 and game 2. Game 1, of course, being the mass Ling Flood with the goal base on Akione. Here in game 2, it was more back and forth. The initial cannon rush was quite successful when it comes to breaking the expansion at least, but we saw that the follow-up timing, the Ravagers of Shin did so much across the map. They were able to kill so many probes. Alongside that, snipe cannons, pylons, shield batteries as well. The value that those Ravagers got and the control from Shin was incredible, which led into the mass Ling, which, you know, had its moments and had its downfall as well, but regardless, GG, well played. Shin does advance on into the semifinals, and the question becomes, who will face off against him? We have results coming in, exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys wish to have a look at the back yourselves. We have updates. We have Dark takes down Rebellion 2-0. Gumiho takes down Classic 2-0 as well. Very impressive performance there by Gumiho, as Gumiho shuts Classic down. Let's going down, we have Shin taking down Lunacy 2-0. We have Byun taking down Miyamaika 2-0. And up next on the channel is going to be Shin versus Byun in a ZVT. Let's go. Let us go. As we just message some players and let them know what is coming up next. So yeah, we have a Zerg versus Terran semifinals. I believe Enki is covering, yes, Enki is covering the upper semifinals. So if you want to tune into Dark versus Gumiho, Enki has you covered. Enki's got you, man. He's got you. And then Mossa. As we get ready ourselves here, setting up our title and setting up our would-be predictions. Oh boy. Just catching up in the chat. Link so strong. Ah, poderoso, papi, poderoso. Too much, too much. Too many links. 2 TVZ matchups I love. Yeah, I'm really cool to see these matches underway. Shin versus Beyond, Gumiho versus Dark. Gonna be amazing games, I'm sure. I think Dark gonna crush Gumiho, Beyond gonna crush Shin. The last time Beyond and Shin played, Shin took down Beyond 3-0. If you're watching ESL Asia, you would know that that Shin did 3-0 Beyond in the finals of ESL Asia. Likewise, Dark and Gumiho go back and forth. I don't expect them to be one-sided series. Even if there are 2-0s, I'm sure they're going to be very close matches. So best of luck to all players involved. We'll see if Beyond can get his revenge over Shin. We shall see. Bearing in mind that the last time they played, when Shin 3-0'd Beyond, it was a best of 5, so the veto system is a little bit different. Here it's going to be a more condensed best of 3, so it could go either way. Hello, no. Hello, Noclay. Hello. Here we go. But until then, we might go on a short break here. Looks like our players might need some time to get their vetoes underway and to get their map sorted. Don't blame them. So we might go on a short break here. The broadcast has been quite fast, actually. It's been a very fast broadcast. We're already in the semis and the finals thereafter. Of course, both semifinals are happening at the same time. They're not being held. They are both underway. And it looks like we have our lobby. We have our lobby, but our players are asking for a couple of minutes, so we're going to be going on a short break. When we return, we will have Beyond versus Shin. See you soon. Take this moment, drain your disruptors, hydrate hydras, massage your marines. If you want to support the KSL, we do have a command, !KSL in the chats. We got you covered. We'll give you a link to the Patreon for the Korean StarCraft League. Again, you can be one to support this event and to support the Korean scene if you wish via Patreon. You can also support it via Matcherino as well, !Matcherino in the chat, and you get a link to this week's Matcherino page. So if you want to help support KSL, you can do so via Patreon or via Matcherino. Otherwise, watching the event itself is more than enough. So thank you so much. We'll see you guys in a couple of minutes. Until then, enjoy the brutal OST. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the semi-finals of the Korean StarCraft League week number 58. Hope you enjoyed that lovely brutal OSC, as the players did need some time to prepare, but now we are jumping into a fresh best of 3 and spawning in the top right hand corner of Dynasty. We have the South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Byun. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Gaimin Gladiators. It is Shin. Here we go. We are going to be settling in again. For those that are just now tuning in, we have already wrapped up the round of 16. We wrapped up the quarterfinals, and now we are jumping into the semifinals here. 2 series remaining in the broadcast. The semis followed by the grand finals. We're nearing the end of the event already. Again, it was a bit of a faster tournament. A lot of fast games. A lot of just aggression and a lot of intensity here in these matches so far. And I'm sure that will continue. I'm sure it will, as we are settling into our best of 3. When it comes to this best of 3, I did mention earlier that Byun and Shin are once again at each other's throats. If you were here last week for ESL Open Cup Asia, the final ESL Open Cup Asia of the season, then you would have seen, or you've seen us cast, you would have seen us cover these 2 players facing off in the grand finals. They faced off in a best of 5, and Shin, in a very quick fashion, did make short work of Byun. It was a 3-0, a fast 3-0 as well. Very impressive performance out of Shin on Monday. And we'll see if Byun can get his revenge, as he's going for a Rax expand. And I just realized we loaded into Dynasty. This is crazy. This is wild. Dynasty, one of the most... Oh, wait. My apologies. Predictions. Before I go on a tangent, predictions are open in the Twitch chat. Place your bets on who you believe will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat with those predictions. But quickly going into the map itself, Dynasty, the most viewed map in the map pool, one of the most viewed maps in the map pool, very often unseen in this matchup, unless it's a longer series like a best of 5, a best of 7, a best of 9. That's when Dynasty is spotted, and Byun, he checks, he sees there is no gold, which is what I was expecting as well. That's why the question mark. He was expecting the gold base to be taken, because that is what is done traditionally on this map. And Byun is confused. I'm confused. And Shin, I'm sure, is also confused. Now, I don't know what Shin's response is. I do understand the TT though. Byun a little bit sad about the response. If you are maybe a little bit more native, if you can read Hangul, I would appreciate a translation. But I do know at least that Byun was confused as to why the gold wasn't taken. I don't know what Shin said as a response though. As Shin has gone for a hatch gas pool opener into the 3rd. It's possible that maybe Shin was saying that, maybe he's trying to catch Byun off guard and he's trying to play unpredictably. I'm curious. Now, a big reason why this map is vetoed so often is because of the gold base. A Terran player can take this gold unimpeded. A Zerg player cannot. The reason why is because Reapers can and will punish this from across the other side of the wall. Reapers, Hellions, Marines, range-based units will not allow a Zerg player to drone and to macro and to actually sustain the space unless you go for a proxy on the other side, which is what Byun was looking for. But there was no proxy gold. There was no hatchery here on the other side of the wall. So interesting kind of setup here for Shin. Because of this, Byun will have an economic advantage here coming into this game, and we'll see how Shin punishes this. Now, typically on this map, Roach play. Because you can only punish this with range-based units, Ling Bane can't do anything, Roach Ravager can. So very often we see Roach Ravager here in ZVT on Dynasty. I'm curious if Shin takes us in that direction, or if he goes somewhere else. Where are you taking us, Shin? Where are you taking us? I think Shin is saving the goal for later. Shin is going to die if the game goes on that long. And you can see that Shin, because of how he's expanding, you would usually, as Shin is a little bit upset about losing the Overlord, he's like, oi! But if you wanted to take this gold base as a 4th, you would take this space as the 3rd, and then take the gold as a 4th base. So Shin, he's expanding in a very, very different way. Likewise, Lair's being taken as well. So again, I'm really curious to see where Shin does lead us. If he plans to go into Muta play, for example, that's a possibility. There it is. Roach Warren has been thrown down. Okay, things are feeling normal again. As we mentioned, Roach play is the meta on Dynasty, so Roaches are going to be quite regular. Oh. I didn't Here we go. But it looks like Dave might have some connectivity issues on his end. But here we go. Marine's going to be Simeon. They catch a queen. One queen goes down. The Ling's going to try and collapse in. It looks like Shin, he will have enough fuel to defend against the initial drop play. Beyond is going to be forced back. Behind this, again, it was a 2-on-1. I should say, yeah, rack expand into 2-on-1. That's it. It's okay, Dave. It's like, everything's fine, Dave. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's all good. Fine. What? I know Dave has been drinking. Dave, at the start of the tournament, he was expressing that he's like a couple of beers deep. Oh no. So best of luck to those over on Dave's channel. I mean, I'm sure they're used to it. Like Dave, I remember when I was casted with Chicken Man, I think he mentioned himself that I don't think Chicken Man is casted with Dave. With Sober Dave. I don't think Sober Dave exists. I think he's a myth. He's a legend. Never meant to be. Shout out to Dave. As behind this, we're embracing Roach Ravager, of course. The creep is looking solid. Beyond taking a third base, getting to his third expansion. And Shin is only droning up to just under 3-base saturation. Uh-oh. And if Shin stops droning from here, this could lead into a 3-base all-in. This could just be an all-in out of Shin. Yeah, he's amassing Roaches, amassing Ravagers, amassing Lings. Is going to try to, make sure he doesn't get supply blocked. And that tells us that Shin, he's just going all-in. He's setting everything across the map to deny the gold and to break Beyond. Beyond coming into a double drop. Lings are keeping up. Roaches across the map. The tank is sieged, but the Biles, they're coming in. We have the Ravagers. We have those Biles. And they should shut down the tank. Ooh, yeah, the tank will fall. Beyond going for a counterattack, going for the third base. And Shin is still not droning. Shin is still very all in. And Shin is being pulled apart. Yeah, drop into the main, only Queens to defend. It's gonna be close. Lings are going down, Queens as well. Oh, the Queens are trying to hold their own, but Queens are falling one after the other. Lings, they're having a hard time responding. Yeah, Shin, he's being pulled apart. The Queens are falling one after the other. The main base is being broken. Shin does defend towards the north, and the Lings have to respond once again. The double drop from Beyond. How many Queens did fall? That was 7 Queens going down. Oh my god. And that will impact the injects. That will impact the production of Shin. Shin has to replace the Queens and is now droning. Oh, this is a rough position for Shin. He's only now droning up. These drones are an afterthought. They were never the intention here, which means Shin has to expand, take another base. Has to take a fourth. So we'll see if Shin can recover. Basically, what's happening here is that Shin cut workers for a long time. He cut workers for a very long time because it looked like, and I'm pretty sure he was planning to go for an all-in. Because of the drop play, the all-in had to come back home, and now Shin is working towards a longer game state. It has to kill the tumor, throwing down the 4th base now. Which means Beyond is defended, and Beyond is now, well, Beyond now has map control. Now has map control here. Moving out with his drops. Moving out with his bio. Shin is lacking Banelings, bear that in mind as well. So it's just Ling, Roach, Ravager. And from here, Beyond could just A-Racks. Beyond, he's only on 5 though, and yeah, 4 CC. Never mind. He's going for a 4 CC. Beyond is building up towards a longer game. Oh, the Lings! Oh, the Lings, they engage ahead of time. A little bit too premature. Bloodlings go down as well. And Shin is in trouble. Yeah, the Mass Marine stimming on forward. The Biles that don't quite connect. Will force a pickup though. Shin will force Beyond back. And behind this, Infestors. Infestors are on the way. Infestors are a good way at buying time. They're ideally buying time with their fungal growth, zoning back the army. Can help catch and help allow the Roach Ravager to be a little bit more effective as well. Baneliness on the way, getting towards Baneling speed, +1 melee. Hive as well. But unfortunately, Shin, he just has a subpar army. The Baneliness is going to be shut down, and Baneling speed is denied. The hatchery as well. Nice fungal though. The punish is real. The Biles. Oh, they barely don't connect. The base falls. Beyond escapes with most of his army. Another fungal. We can go for a chain fungal even. Trying to. And these tanks are exposed. Shin will clean this up. Not bad. We'll catch all 3 tanks. Very nicely done. Shin is still in this. Does preserve most of those infestors. I think only 1 infestor went down. And Shin is still stuck on Ling Roach Ravager. Remember, the Baneling Nest was sniped. Baneling Nest just now being rebuilt. No Banelings whatsoever. So dealing with a bio-based army is that much more difficult. Shin heavily reliant on fungals. And Shin is pushing in. We have to make this push work here and now. The fungal doesn't quite connect. He only grazes the army. 1 tank falls. 2nd tank as well. And Shin trying to force his way on top of those tanks. There's 2 tanks left. Down to 1, but there's a tank on the high ground as well. Oh, we're running out of roaches, running out of lings. Shin has to back off, just barely not enough. At the same time across the map, 21 drone kills, and yeah, Shin, he's running out of steam, he's running out of army. Does get 17 SCVs. But he's forced back home. Yeah, this counter draw from Bjorn snipes a base, snipes a mineral line. Shin's throwing back around. Does catch a medevac though. Shout out to the queens. Medevac does fall. Baneling Nest is done. Baneling speed still yet to be researched. You see Bjorn heavily ahead in upgrades as well, working on 3-3. Meanwhile, Shin is stuck on 1-2. +2 melee still on the way. Again, Shin, he's hoping to try to catch the army here, like, off guard. He's hoping to try to catch Bjorn with his pants down. Let's see if he can. Tank is still on the high ground, though. Marines from behind. Good fungal. The bots as well this time, they will connect. They connect with the Marauders. But the Marines, they get themselves the Ravagers. Oh, these are brutal losses here for Shin. Yeah, bleeding out Ravagers. GG gets called. Shin, he runs out of steam as he was all in. And Bjorn will take game number 1. GG. A very, very unfortunate game there for Shin. Again, he was kind of playing from behind. Well, he was playing against a goal-based Terran player. And initially the plan was to go for the all-in. Initially the plan was to commit and just double down, but unfortunately, as you remember, the all-in failed. Bjorn was harassing at the same time, did pull Shin apart, and then Shin was stumbling into the mid-game. He had some moments with his fungals, that is true, but just some moments for Shin. As we're now getting into game number 2, and now getting into a much more standard map into Alkyone. Let's go. Let us go. I would say Shin is like the Gumiho of Zergs. He likes to try to all in. I don't know if I would associate Gumiho in that way. Gumiho, I would say Shin is similar to Gumiho in the sense that they're both creative and they both come up with their own builds. I would lean more towards that idea. I can get behind that. But I wouldn't pin them as being all-in players. Like Shin plays macro, so does Gumiho. But I wouldn't paint them as necessarily cheesers or all-inners necessarily all the time. Oh. Here we go, getting into the next game. And we're getting into game number 2. Let's go. Let us go. Right, always the consummate professional, not replying while not wearing any pants. Oh no. Let's go. And here we go, we're getting into game number 2, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Alkyone, we have our South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Shopify Rebellion, leading the series 1-0, getting his revenge, putting a point on the board. We'll see if he can close it out with the 2-0. It is Bjorn. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent, we have the Red Zerg player representing Gaiman Gladiators. It is Shin. We'll see if he can bounce back. We'll see if he can try to catch Bjorn off guard. Again, going into a much more macro-oriented map. And we'll see how they can compare to each other. Again, game 1 was more of an oddity. It came down to the map as well, to Dynasty. It leads to more unusual games, and it leads to more all-ins. Something I should emphasize as well, I don't think I've ever seen a Zerg player not all-in on Dynasty. Like, if they're forced onto Dynasty, like, all-ins are par for the course. But we'll see when Shin decides to pull the trigger here on Alkione, if at all. For now, Hatch Gas Pool, Standard Opener. Likewise, Bjorn going for a Rax Expand. Here we go. So we are going to be settling in. And we'll see where this leads us. Now, another interesting thing here is that Bjorn is not going for 2x Reaper. If you remember, the last time they played, I think Shin every game went 15-15, and Bjorn did avoid, or every time he did end up going 2x Reaper, Bjorn was shut down as well. So even though Bjorn is quite fond of that opener, against Shin, I don't think it's the best move. I don't think it's the best approach against Shin, just because of how well he can defend against it and how hard he can punish it as well. So this time, just standard openers so far. We'll see if we get a 2x Reaper out of Bjorn at some point in this series. You know, behind us, Queens are on the way, Reaper's moving out. And we're settling into a standard opener and a standard back and forth. Third base being taken. Reaper dipping in. The dance has begun. Ideally, Shin wouldn't be losing any lings or drones, of course. Shin just trying to buy time. God, he wants that drone though. he wants it badly. Doesn't quite get it. Will try to slip by, but alas, the Queen has arrived, and with the help of the Queen, we will be able to deter Bjorn. Back at home, Bjorn going for a third CC. Third CC before Starport. Economic opener, economic follow-up here by Bjorn. Working towards the mid-game. As a reminder, last game, Bjorn did go for a 2-1-1. He went for Bio-Aggression and Bio-Drop play, no Hellions. This time, Hellions should be embraced, as there's the add-on swap with the Reactor, and we should be seeing a Tech Lab on the racks. As Hellion production has begun, and Tech Lab is on the way. We'll see if we go into an add-on swap or not. Bjorn can be quite fond of rushing into Stim instead of going for Cloak Banshee, but we'll see. There we go. It is going to be Viking first. Okay. Bjorn, you have our attention here, so no add-on swap. Not initially. Viking will be coming out to shut down. Okay, Viking into add-on swap. Cheeky move out of Bjorn. Very cheeky. So essentially the way this works, as focus on the Reaper initially, it does not get the drone. But the way this works is a Viking opener traditionally means that there's no Banshee. The reason why is because if you go for a Viking, you delay the add-on swap, and technically this is inefficient. This is inefficient. It means that your Banshees are delayed, so when Shin sees the Viking, the chances of him skipping Banshee defense is going to be a little bit higher here, when really it's going to be delayed Banshee by Bjorn, intentionally so, to catch the Zerg player off guard. So again, very cheeky move here by Bjorn. We'll see how much these Banshees can get done, as ideally they catch Shin off guard. Thanks to the Viking. As we do see Bjorn rotating around, working towards the natural. Queens are keeping up. Behind this, Bjorn landing his third base. And Shin back at home is happily droning, working towards a lair, working towards a Baneling nest. Getting into Ling Bane. Very safe opener out of Shin. Shin decides to delay his upgrades in favor of Baneling speed and in favor of the lair. So Shin's upgrades will be a little bit later here. If this game goes on any longer without any Evo Chambers, we could even try to tech up a little bit harder as well. Keep an eye on Shin. So he gets another expansion, getting a fourth. Banshees back at home are building up. You can see Bjorn is waiting for Cloak, has the first Banshee, soon to be second. And Shin is taking all gases. Is he going Muta? Shin, no Evo Chambers. No Evo Chambers by Shin. There it is. Spire has been thrown down. Bold move. Going into Ling Bane Muta here. Now this does mean that Shin is going to be vulnerable to earlier game aggression, as Shin, his Ling main is going to be a little bit lackluster for that much longer. Likewise, mutas are vulnerable. Mutas are not ideal in defense. We'll see if we can get away with it. At the same time, Banshees are soon to move out. Hellions have map control. Ling Scout will get eyes on the third. They get eyes on the bio. But here come the Banshees on the right-hand side. So far, thankfully, Shin did not cut corners. He has a Spore in each mineral line. He was playing safe. It's a very safe play initially here by Shin. Not caught with his pants down. Banshees do go for the dive, but Queens are keeping up. We have detection as well. More importantly, though, the Banshees are denied scouting. The Banshees do not see the Spire. So Byun is in the dark. It gets 5 drones. Drones so far, not bad. As we do see Byun getting ready for a split push. Banshees on one end, we have a Bio Hellion on the other. Stim is done. 1-1 about to finish up as well. And Shin will have some Ling Bane to defend. But again, these are going to be 0-0 Ling. This is going to be 0-0 upgrades on the Ling Bane. Mutas are on the way. Shin dancing with the army, buying time. Hellions towards the left. Ling Bane does keep up. Will collapse in. Yeah, very nice catch here. Shin, he shuts down the Hellions at the same time. Mutas are revealed. They shut down the Banshees. Byun is aware. He commits though. Gets a Queen. Takes down the Tumors. But Byun will have to pull back. And back at him, turrets. Turrets are on the way. Widowmine's production has begun. Alongside Drilling Claws. And Byun, he doesn't back up. Again, the power here, there is kind of momentum in favor of Byun just because he does have the upgrade lead. Just because Shin did invest into these mutas, but the turret, does finish up. But 4 SCV kills. We get 4 SCV so far, delaying the expansion just barely. Byun doesn't stop. On the mine. Ready to get the mine shot. 1 Widowmine behind this. Drop on the right-hand side. Only 3 queens. Shin is vulnerable. The mine, oh god, doesn't quite go off. Not yet. And the queens are going down. 1, 2 queens fall. Ay, ay, ay. Byun doing so much with so little. Without 1 drop. Catching a muta as well. And Shin, he's hurting. He's having a hard time keeping up with the split push here. Good Ling main connections. But alas, in the main base, there we go. The drop is cleaned up. Shin, he's holding. He's surviving. The mine shot. Oh my god. Takes on 3 Banelings. Could have been so much worse. But Shin holds. Whew. Again, a lesser player then and there would have fallen. Then and there would have been broken. The drop would have killed all 3 queens into the mineral line. Likewise, the push on the left-hand side would have snowballed out of control. Shin does hold, but not out of the woods yet. Again, these mutas, they ideally need to force Byun back home. Hit the production, there's reinforcements though. Byun can still focus on his pushes. We'll find some stray SCVs though. Denying the turret. At the same time, Byun pushing in. Takes the baiting to the face. Just the one though. And nice target firing out of Byun. Byun, he keeps up, he does defend. At the same time, pushing on the right, and there's nothing here in position. Shin, he's not ready for the split pushes. Was not anticipating this. Yeah, Shin, he just cannot keep up. Not here. But he will shut down the first move out. So there we go. 2 medevacs full. A 3rd medevac as well. Okay, nice cleanup. Byun overextending a little bit there. That was an expensive loss. Changing to spot the main army. Shin is aware. We'll see if Shin can deal with this. Likewise, Shin is still vulnerable to that right-hand side drop. Skin reveals the army. I love that these Marines are doing the best they can to like blend in. And they're getting away with it. So far, so good. Following the main army. Shin spots the drop. And Shin has to buy time. He has to buy time for those mutas to clean up the drop. Forces it back. And Shinny cannot hold on. Has to give up on the expansion. Beyond has broken through. You know what, the Mutas, they did clean up the medevacs. They're racing back home. Shin trying to re-expand, taking the gold. And Beyond is gaining ground. How many Widow Mines? Just 4. Not too many Widow Mines here for Beyond. Has to be careful. Drops towards the natural. Cleaned up as well. The Thor is exposed. Have a hopping up here. Beyond will save it. Saves the Thor. Takes down the base. And I appreciate that Beyond backs off. He doesn't keep pushing. He's going to rotate. Rotates around, playing it safe. If he kept going, might have been surrounded. Oof. And even forces an engage off of creep. Beyond maxed out, dropping back into the natural as well. And once again, Shin having a hard time keeping up. Has a lot of mutas though. But the goal base is denied. I believe that was a kill. Yeah, that was a kill that a cancel. And there was no final engagement. Shin just pulled apart, denied a 5th over and over again. And Byeon takes the series 2-0. GG. Very impressive game 2 there by Byeon. Just completely showing how it's so difficult to play out Lingbane. Like Lingbane, even though it got unscouted, the power of Lingbane Muta. This is what I meant to emphasize. So the power of Muta play is to harass across the map, not to defend. It's to be across the map, it's to have map control, to deny drop play, of course, and to keep a lot of the army pinned back at home to defend. You know, this is why Reina was so successful, right? He was so aggressive, so active on the map, and Clem was just stuck at home. Clem just never had the opportunity to harass across the map and to be in the face of Reina. Here, Byeon was kind of the initiator. Byeon, he was the one that Shin had to respond to, had to defend against. He very rarely could move out. There were a couple of moments where Mutas were able to get some SCV kills, that is true, but those are few and far between. For the most part, Shin was stuck at home instead and was being pulled apart. One too many times, Shin wasn't ready for a split push. One too many times, Shin wasn't ready for multi-prong aggression, and once the ball starts rolling, it gets out of control. It gets out of hand very quickly. GG, well played. GG, well played. Very impressive stuff there out of Byeon. And with that, Byeon advances on to the Grand Finals. The question becomes, who will he face off against? We have the Grand Finals. The upper semis went all the way to the ace match, to be expected. Scrolling on over here, Dark and Gumiho went all the way to Game 3. We expected a back and forth, and did go the way of Dark in the end, which means we have a ZVT Grand Finals. Let's go. It's going to be a best of 5 between Dark and Byeon. Now, Dark is a very different kind of player. I can't remember the last time I've seen Dark attempt Lingbane Muta. I appreciate that Shin brought that to the table. It's not something we see too often, and I don't expect that out of Dark. Dark is a Roach boy. Dark, he embraces Roach aggression very frequently. Does at times go Lingbane into Ultra, for example. Dark is quite fond of that composition as well. We'll see what the videos are going to be. We'll see what maps we load into. I should also bring it back a little bit as well. Game 1 between Byeon and Shin was also really weird. I was shocked to see Dynasty make it through the veto process. It was wild. It was crazy. And I wasn't fully convinced by Shin's plan on Dynasty either. So, you know, Shin was cooking, but yeah, well, it feels like it needs to go back in the oven a little bit, the build itself. So Game 1 was more of an oddity, which I didn't really pay too much mind to because of that. Game 2, though, much more impressive there by Byeon. And now we're getting ready for the Grand Finals. Let's go. We're getting ready for those Grand Finals. Just need a moment to set things up. The vetoes are going to be underway. I have to make sure that, of course, predictions have been paid out as well. Let's go. Bam. And now we can soon jump in. Oh, your shot is... Oh, el pollito. Shout out to Chicken Man. Again, Chicken Man, of course, remotely has been helping out when it comes to the adminning of the event and hosting of the event. Chicken Man was unable to be here live to cast, but is here in spirit, papi. El pollo loco, papi. Oh my god. Big shout out to Chicken Man. Much love. Oh, let's go. Would be nice to have another stream for the another semi. Enki had you covered, but true, there was no English coverage of the upper semis, unfortunately. But Enki was there. Enki was there. Lies, have you eaten? Let's not talk about that. There's never enough fried chicken. Never enough. But yes, exclamation mark Matcherino in the chat, and you will get a link to the Matcherino page, and oh, never mind. Apparently it wasn't published. It's okay, it's okay. We'll get there. But it should be working now. Should be working now. It's all good. I was just casting. Yes, you can do a replay cast, papi. We got you with the replays. We got you, Chicken Man. We got you. Espírito pollo. Yeah, espírito. Enki cover? Yeah, Enki got you. Enki's got you. What? I'm sorry, I perpetrated the myth that you don't wear pants. If only you would just stand up and prove the unbelievers wrong. No. I'll leave you in the dark. I'll leave that shroud of ambiguity over my pants. Oh no. Real streamers don't need pants. Yeah, the pants, they just weigh us down, papi. They weigh us down. They slow down the casting. We're unimpeded. We are free, papi. We're free. Let's go. I'm always reminded of the GSL photo. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It was a couple of years ago at this point, like 2018, maybe maybe around 2018. Maybe even before that, maybe like 2016, where a fan took a photo of Tasteosis, Artosis and Tasteless at GSL, and for the cameras, you saw them wearing like suits, right? You saw them wearing like their blazer with a nice suit and a tie, and then because the fan camera is showing them from behind, right beneath the waist, they've got like they're wearing short shorts, like they're not wearing anything that matches at all what they're wearing up with what they're wearing above the waist for the cameras. There's nothing there, papi. There's nothing there. Only for the audience, for the live audience, they could see. Aye. But yeah, even at live events, pants, they're not there. They're not there. They're not real. True. %100% ventilation. But it looks like our players need some time. Looks like our players do need a bit of time here. Both Beyond and Dark. This is all good. We can give it to them. This is where we need to find the photo. Of Artosis and Tasteless pantsless back. Oh no, what's happening in the chat? Don't rub Chicken Man's lamp. Don't do it. But for now, we're going to be going on a short break. Looks like our players need some time, which is understandable. I think Dark is looking after his daughter, of course, So does need a moment before he can jump back in. Understandable. Tasteless, more like pantsless. True. Exactly. You understand. But yeah, we're going to be going on a short break. When we come back, we'll have the grand finals. Again, best of 5 between Dark and Beyond. It's going to be amazing, going to be beautiful, I'm sure. And yeah, it's been a bit of a shorter broadcast as well. We're only 2 hours in and we're already here at the grand finals, but I'm hoping for a back and forth. I'm hoping for an extended series. Best of luck. If you're out there, if you're in the chat, then take this moment to drain your disruptors, massage your marines, hydrate your hydras, stretch your roaches, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes with the grand finals. See you soon. Oh god. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. I apologize for the extended delay, so we are here in the grand finals. We've made it here to the finals of the KSL. For those that are curious, I mean, there's a lot to go into, but we're jumping right on into the ZVT. If you're in the chat, predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you believe will take the series. Best of luck. As spawning in the top on the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Byun. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Talent Esports, playing not from his own home but from a nearby PC cafe, a PC bang if you will. It is Dark. Here we go. Again, we apologize for how long it took for the finals to begin, but again, the internet went down in Dark's apartment. Dark, he rushed on over, rushed down the stairs, took his child with him, of course, and is now playing at a PC bang with child in hand. Let's go. Let us go. Now, there is a bit of a sour note as well, or something that's a little bit bittersweet. It's great that we have the finals, but as stated by our admins, Dark will be starting with a 1-0 deficit because of the delays, because of how long it took. I mean, shout out to Byun for, of course, being very patient as well. From my understanding, unless otherwise changed, I believe Byun will be starting with an advantage here. So that is a little bit brutal, but it's the best of 5, and I want to believe that we can bounce back. Bearing in mind as well that Dark did need some extra time to set up his hotkeys. And he's playing, I'm sure, surrounded by other people as well at a PC cafe. So not the most ideal conditions for Dark, but much respect to actually put in the effort to be a part of this, right? It could have been easy to just, you know, lose internet and just forfeit, right, and just step out. But no, he went the extra mile. He rushed out the door and raced to a nearby establishment to actually play and actually compete. So much respect here to Dark. Yeah, as the show must go on. But here we go. We are going to be settling in. Do have our initial Reaper harass getting across the map. Was a hash gas pool opener by Byun, but 2 links go down. 3 links. Oh god. 3 links go down here. Very solid trade here by Byun. Bearing in mind as well, yeah, it isn't just Dark playing at a PC bang with a weird scenario and stuff like that. David asking if he lagged. Dark is playing, of course, with the PC Cafe's keyboard, mouse, monitor. Like, he's playing with not the most optimal settings. Even with Dark going to like an offline event, takes his own peripherals. Actually, oh no, Dave! What? Dave, you didn't have to leave. No, Dave, you misunderstood. Dave was like, did I like? No, I'm pretty sure it's just the setup here for Dark that's less than ideal. Dark is like, Dave, didn't have to leave. It's okay. Este Dave. Dave, always looking out for the players, but I'm pretty sure this was more attributed to the setup that Dark has currently, not any kind of latency. Even Byun confirmed that there was no lag. Like, god damn it. Dave. You're jumping to conclusions, Poppy. You've had too much to drink. For now, though, fast lair. Ooh, we can see Dark rushing to a lair very early on. Now, I expect nothing but all-ins out of Dark, especially because Dark is playing, you know, under suboptimal settings currently. I do not expect long macro games out of Dark at any point in this series. I expect him to cheese it up to be hyper aggressive here against Byun. With this fast lair, this can lead into a Link Queen Nidus all-in. There is an Overlord across the map. This can lead into either a Dropalord based all-in as well, but I'm leaning more towards Nidus play. Alas, Byun is patrolling the main base. Byun is in position. Second gas is being taken, and we'll see if it's going to be for the Nidus or something different. I'm feeling Nidus Worm here for Dark. Here we go. As we are going to be setting up, lair is now done. Show us what you got. Lings are amassing. And show us that there it is. Nidus Worm has been thrown down. The Overlord's coming into the main, but again, Byun is ready for this. Byun is in position. Now, Dark may opt to, instead of going into the main base, could reinforce on the front lines. Nidus Worm outside of the natural instead. Dark has options. Dark does have options. Floating links across the map. Queens are amassing as well, getting ready to dive into that Nidus Worm. And we'll see how Beyond handles this situation. Beyond, he's got Hellions to defend against the Lings. So far, good position. The Hellions are scouted. They are confirmed. And Dark needs to try and distract Beyond somehow, some way. There it is. Nidus Swarm on the front lines. The Overlord does confirm there's a Marine patrolling. Not just a Marine, but Banshees as well. Scan reveals saturation, but again, it's kind of fake saturation in a sense, as the main base is not even fully saturated. Nidus does finish. Nidus Swarm into the main, but the Banshees are ready. The Banshees, they will shut it down. Yeah, the Nidus Swarm is going to be denied. Queens are poking forward. And Dark is still not droning. Dark is still just amassing more Lings, amassing more Queens. Baneliness has been thrown down, and so far, Beyond, he's holding. He is holding strong. Again, Beyond not overreacting, keeping his Banshees in the main base as well. Is keeping them in, and meanwhile, a big shout to Dave, Tessa. God, thank you for the raid. Bobby, you didn't have to leave. You didn't have to leave, Dave. But thank you for the raid. Again, shout out to Dave for, of course, hosting the event, not just by himself, but also with Chicken Man. But alas, for the most part, Dave holding the fort on his own, has been having a great time over on his own channel, I'm sure. This lovely Friday night, I did notice some drinks were had. Este Dave. But I hope you had a great time. You had a great stream. And of course, welcome to the grand finals. We're here in game one. We have Dark committing to the all-in. It's all good. It's all good. As the army stems forward, catches the Queen, takes down the Nidus. Second Queen goes down. Dark is collapsing in. Oh, we'll take down the Hellions at least, but the Marines do evacuate. They escape. One tank gonna be falling. Not even it survives. The tank lives. GG gets called, and Beyond will take game number one. GG. GG, well played. And a shout out to Dave Test in the chat for the 5 gifted subs to the community. Thank you so much for the support. We do appreciate it. Hope the rest of your evening and the rest of the weekend fares a little bit better for you. Hope everything's okay over in the land of Dave. Take care, Pappy. Take care. As we are getting ready for game number 2. And again, Dark, he is playing under subpar conditions, and this is what I expect throughout this series here between Beyond and Dark. I don't expect longer macro games here from the side of Dark, but we'll see. We'll see how it all comes together, how it all comes to pass. Would love to see Dark playing SG with a baby in his lap. Yeah. Now, not even on his lap. He's like cradling it on his arm while he's playing. He's like balancing the child on his arm. It's beautiful. Beautiful. It's impressive. But we are getting ready for game number 2. A dynasty once again? What's going on? What's happening? Here we go. We're getting ready for game number 2. Dynasty, again, one of the more vetoed maps in the map pool, but because it's the best of 5, you have that many less vetoes to work with. So I expect once again aggression. We could see Dark rushing into the gold instead. Could try to proxy his zone. Could try to take the gold base of Beyond. I'm curious how Dark will approach this. I'm curious what kind of cheese we'll be jumping into. Let's go. One more thing to micro. Exactly. Was it Dark who plays with feet back in the day? No, that was Larva. That was Larva. That was in the Zotac Brood War Remastered tournament. That was not Dark. Different Korean Zerg player. But here we go. We're jumping into game number 2 and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Dynasty. We have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Beyond. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg representing Talon Esports. It is Dark. we go. Stark is going to be settling in. We're jumping into that second game. And so far, Hatch first, not rushing into the gold. Okay, you have my attention. We saw this earlier today with Shin versus Byun, where Shin likewise did not rush into the gold base. I'm sure Dark is going to be I'm sure Byun is going to be checking, going to be scouting, and once again will be a little bit confused when he realizes that the gold base has not been rushed into. Oh boy. And we'll see what the plan is for Dark. See what the initial plan is going to be. Which is weird. I'm sure there would have been plenty of hot signals in his area. Maybe not, right? It's possible. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe it was affecting his area. Maybe it was affecting his service provider as well. You know, exclamation mark Funada SKT. That's why we put one of the telecoms on blast. Tell us, who was it, Dark? Who was it? Was it SKT or KT? Which one? Which one? Aye. Shame them, Bobby. Shame them. Behind this, of course, it is going to be a Rax expand into a second Rax. Okay, a 2-1-1 setup here from Byun. We saw this against Shin. We saw, again, what this leads into is less so Hellion Banshee aggression and more so a timed 16 Marine double medevac drop. Does mean that Dark is going to be a little bit more free in the early to mid game, and Byun will pop off once he gets his medevacs up and running. Reaper does scout, does confirm, does get eyes onto the third base. Unlike Shin, if you recall, Shin did take the linear third. Dark taking the triangular third does lead into the gold base as a fourth potential. So Dark can take advantage of that gold later on down the line as a fourth, if the game does go on that long. So now the game just calming things down. Factory follow-up into the starport. Stim is soon to begin. Until then, Dark is going to be free to drone, as Dark is still trying to piece this all together and figure out how aggressive Byun is going to be. Still droning up. Taking an earlier second gas, and we spoke earlier about Dynasty, and I guess we can reiterate once again. It is very common on Dynasty for Zerg players to rush into roaches. The reason for this is because Dark cannot take the gold base early on this map. The Terran can, and the only way to try to punish this mineral line is with range-based units, is with Roach Ravager. And speaking of, there it is. Roach Warren has been thrown down. Roach Ravager is going to be on the horizon here for Dark to get into the mid game and to try to apply some pressure and to harass that mineral line. We'll see if he can. See if he can. So we have our tech of choice. Again, Byun is still not being able to be too active here. We'll catch an Overlord though. Not bad. Oh my god. Overlord barely does survive. But medevacs are on the way. As there's the add-on swap, reactor on the starport, 2 medevacs in production, and soon Byun can break free with his Marines. Meanwhile, we do have initial roaches on the way. Going to be 6 roaches for the time being. 9 roaches even on the way for Dark. We'll see if he commits a little bit harder, but it should just be 9 roaches into Ravagers, again to apply pressure. I say that we have more roaches on the way. Dark getting a little bit supply blocked, which is less than ideal. Lair is now in production. Roaches moving out, but Byun likewise soon to move out as well. Dark is fully aware of the 2-on-1. Double drop pushes at the same time. Dark is moving out with those roaches, but he has to respect the drop. He does pull back. Okay, Dark, he pulls back home. Needs to defend. Does still send out 2 roaches towards that mineral line. Okay, so he does deal some economic damage. Denying a lot of mining time. Double drop into the main. Roaches have kept up. Just purely roach. Does force the pickup. Queens as well. Meanwhile, across the map, the tank has arrived. Ooh, and Dark cannot punish the mineral line too much here without Ravagers. At the same time, double drop does hit the third. Oh, do we get a queen? We do. 1 queen goes down, 2nd queen goes down as well. Big pickoffs here for Dark. Sorry, for Byun. Massive pickoffs. Getting the queens. Still posing a threat. Still harassing. Ravagers are now on the way. And with the help of these Ravagers, we can try to bile away at the mineral line or even bile down the tank. Speaking of, ooh, Pile does connect. 3 ACVs full. Nicely done. But Roach is getting picked off. That's going to be 2. That's going to be almost 3 Roaches going down. Going for the mineral line. And with that, 3 drones full from both sides. This time, Beyond does respond. Does pull away. Getting his third base up and running. So far, Dark is keeping up, but he's also stuck with Roach Ravager. And Dark has yet to take a 4th. No 4th expansion yet here for the Zerg. Beyond getting into the mineral line. Denying mining time. And you can see Beyond doing so much with so little here in the main, even catching another Overlord. And Beyond is getting ready for his push. This entire time he's been relying on purely 2 medevacs for harassment, 4th base now being taken, and the goal of Beyond's move out should be to knock down this gold, to knock down this 4th expansion. The creep is okay here at the 4th. It's okay. Not ideal. And we're waiting for that move out as tanks are amassing. 1-1 just now about to kick in. Beyond been building up this army. And here come the reinforcements. The Marines, the medevacs. Not moving out with the tanks yet. We're at least keeping the tanks back at home initially. So, for the time being, Beyond just applying some light aggression with drop play. He isn't committing. Oh, he's catching more drones in the main. Dark pulling back. Beyond stimming in, going for the 4th. It's not going to finish. There is some Roach Ravager though. Well, hold on. Ooh, 1 Ravager falls. But the expansion is saved. Oh, just barely. Is saved. Dark is holding back. Ling speed now being researched. +2 range. Ling speed tells us that... Oh, never mind. I was going to say that Dark is going to be going Ling Bane Roach Ravager, but that is a Hydra Den on the way and +2 range. So never mind. Dark can reinforce with Lings, but he's trying to rush into Lurker Tech. Before that happens, drop into the main base. Roaches have a hard time keeping up. Oh, and that's going to be another 7 drones going down. 10 worker kills, 12, 13, 14. And this one drop, this initial 2-on-1 drop even, is doing critical damage. This is far too much already. The medevac falls, but it has already paid for itself. 14 drones going down. And the drop play continues. And this is the weakness here of playing Roach Ravager, is the limited anti-air you have. No Hydras, not yet at least. No Spire Tech, of course. It's a slower army as well, as opposed to Ling Bane. And it is vulnerable to drop play. Especially with kind of like, you know, less than ideal setup here with a foreign keyboard and a foreign mouse, a foreign setting. It's looking a little bit bleak, Pappy. Looking a little bit bleak. At least Dark gets the gold, though. The gold is fully saturated with gold minerals and gold gas. That is going to be a big boost here to the economy of Dark. And Dark is, in a way, keeping up supply-wise, but the soup does lie, is the problem. When Roaches are involved, they are inflated army supply. So the supplies are a little bit deceiving here, and Beyond is still looking that much more terrifying. But Dark is building up. He's knocking down the rocks. He's getting ready for his own push. We have Ravagers. We have Hydras. No Lurkers yet. We are taking up into Hive Tech. That can give us access to Vipers. There it is. 3 Vipers on the way. Dark is building up. And with the power of Vipers, Dark can break an entrenched position like this. 100%. He can break this. We'll see if he will. So far, keeping up with the drops. Forcing Beyond back. +3 is on the way. The Vipers are soon to pop out. They can amass energy. And then we'll see if Dark can make this older school Roach Hydra kind of Heart of the Swarm composition work. We have seen him have a lot of success with this kind of style on this map before. But usually if it's the Terran players pushing into him, not the other way around. As Dark is maxed. Likewise, Beyond just behind him. Throwing down more CC, setting up SimCity. Ghost Academy's done, making 3 ghosts at a time. Tanks are amassing as well, as Bjorn is on 2 factories. Meanwhile, as Dark maxes out, he is taking into Lurker Tech. Lurker Tech's on the way. Expansion going to be denied. Take down the base, taking down another 2 queens. Here we go, Dark. He's going to be committing. I mean, there's only 3 tanks. They're going to be yoinked. Not bad. But Bjorn coming in from behind. He does try to collapse on the army. Does try to trap it. Alas, that is a lot of Roach Hydra. CC is going to go down at the same time. Drop across the map. Gets the mineral line. 15, 16 drones going down. And Dark, he's committing further into the main base. Taking down more tanks. Not bad. But the Vipers are out of energy, and here comes the surround. Yeah, no more Vipers, no more abductions. And this army is so fragile. It's just so fragile. It gets surrounded. Going to be cleaned up as well. The Marine Marauder will have its way with the Hydra Ravager. And with that, the army will crumble. I say that we did kill a mineral line and a base. Dark is remaxing with more Roach Hydra. The Vipers survived. They can regather energy. I think this is the most important thing here. The Vipers, they lived. Gathering energy as we speak, getting ready for the second wave. But this time, no Ravagers, only Roach Hydra. The Vipers need a little bit more time. Dark, he did put a dent into the tank count of Bjorn. A lot of tanks did fall. Lurker upgrades are on the way. He can turn this into a more Lurker-based composition. Dark is holding his own, and Bjorn needs another expansion. We are kind of running out of money here. Bjorn, he's on a 3-base economy, but he needs an expansion, and there we go. 4th base now being taken. If Bjorn can hold on a little bit longer and make use of that 4th, he's going to be okay, but here come the Vipers. Ooh, big EMP, though. Oh, yeah, that was brutal. Yeah, massive EMP on the Vipers. The tanks, they hold the line. This time, no abductions. You can see here the stark contrast. If the Vipers, if they could yoink, then maybe Dark could have broken this position, but the EMP was brutal. Dark has to back off, and Bjorn, he's establishing a fresh mining base. Planetary is up, tanks are sieging, we have turrets, we have SimCity, and Bjorn, he's recovering. When it comes to the next move out, once again, it is going to be kind of a dance between the spellcasters. If Bjorn can get the EMPs off, then Bjorn will hold. There is an opening here, though. Likewise, if Dark can abduct those tanks, or even Blinding Cloud, then Dark can break through. Rotating around, Bio Army a little bit more exposed. As Lurkers, they hit the southern base. Lurkers have arrived, getting towards the main base, actually. Ghost goes down. And we have a direct path into the main. Likewise, trying to force Bjorn up the ramp into Lurkers as well. Big snipes going off. A couple of Lurkers go down. Again, as opposed to Dark trying to break an entrenched position, it's the other way around here, trying to force Bjorn into Lurkers. So very good position, but we do overextend for a moment. Lurkers still lying in wait. That was 17 SCVs going down. Dark will back off. Nidustorm on the way, more Lurkers as well. Dark himself has a solid economy, maxed out. Now with that many less Roaches and more Ling Hydra Lurker. The Vipers, I believe, yeah, they're still up and running. Vipers towards the north. And now Bjorn's attention is here towards the south. This is where the ghosts are. The ghosts towards the south, not towards the north. These tanks are exposed. Vipers, can they catch some of these free tanks? Oh. Here we go. Dark, he's going for it. He's going for the dive. Ghost out of position. I say that some ghosts do come in. Yeah, there are 4 ghosts to defend. One of the Lurkers will burrow in time. 2 of them fall. Do we have repairs? The planetary. Oh my god, it's so low. It is so low, but Bjorn, he does rotate in time. Snipes the Vipers, snipes the Lurkers as well. Ooh, that was a big loss for Dark. Dark plummets in supply, but Dark has a massive bank. There's 4,000 minerals in the bank. Has some gas as well. Again, Dark was hoping that the entirety of the Bio Army was here towards the south, but Bjorn had reinforcing ghosts on the way. Bjorn was ready. Ooh, and you can see Dark trying to work towards Ling main. Baneling Nest on the way. Baneling's speed still yet to begin. So Dark is not fully set up for this. We'll catch out a Ghost. Nice pickup. Gets a Ghost. No detection though. The Ghosts that hold their own. Snipe some of the Hydras. Reinforcements on the way. This round. Oh my god! Bjorn! No! He's not looking! Yeah, massive catch. But where's the detection? No detection. The Ghosts, some of them will survive. But that was still a good catch for Dark. As the cloak is running out, another Ghost falls. And Nidus from on the way. Instead, Bjorn focusing towards the south, catching a base, at least attempting to. Does go for the expansion and will snipe it. Hatchery goes down. Losing some buy though. Wasn't a free trade. Get it for free. Dark is still just trying to take control of the map. The creep is solid. Gaining speed, still just now starting up. Vipers have been rebuilt. Gathering energy. And Bjorn is going to be stuck at home. He's turtling up. As we're trying to go for drop play once again, we do see Dark trying to find a weak point in the armor. Does find one tank. Just the one though. And we'll see if Bjorn can establish another base. Again, this base has been left untouched. We'll see if Bjorn can take it. Overseer diving into the main, I'm sure with intentions of Nidus Worms. Expansion's being taken. Overseer does get in. Yeah, he notices. Yeah, he's going to be hunting down the Overseer. Nidus into the main base, so Bjorn is holding its heels. So keen eyes out of Bjorn. At the same time, though, Dark, he dives right through the center, catches two tanks, and a CC. And Bjorn having a hard time keeping up. Ooh, but does punish the Hydras at least. One of the orbitals does survive. More importantly, the planetary finishes. More importantly, the planetary is done. Dark getting ready to try and collapse on this position. Bjorn double expanding. And Dark, he's going for it. Lurkers have arrived. He wants to commit. Up, dragging out the army. Going for the Ghost. Does yoink one. EMP goes off, and instead we go right through the center. This time, no tanks. But there are still some Ghosts. Snipes going up. Dark has the high ground. And he pushes in. Pushes right into the natural. Gets a tank. We'll get another as well. Dark, does he have enough? He's running out of steam a little bit here. There are still a lot of Lurkers, though. And Lurkers, they maintain this position. Nidus Worm as well. More Lurkers on the way. And Dark, has he done it? Likewise, Bjorn setting up for a surround. He's with an army towards the north. Towards the south as well. And more Lings amassing like Bjorn. Dark, he knows he's so close. He's so close to breaking Bjorn here and now. Pushing in. He's going for it. Going for the main. Big blinding cloud. Lings are flooding forward. Tanks are a little bit late to siege. And more Ghosts are falling. Yeah, down a friendly fire. At the same time, going for the northern expansions, getting more SCVs. And Dark, it looks like he might have just barely broken the back of Bjorn. Again, it wasn't about these fringe bases. So much supply tied up here. So many tanks towards the south, tanks towards the north. Bjorn is spread thin. And again, just so much supply not being used here in the defense, not able to be used. As I say that though, Bjorn, he holds onto the main. Does hold. Dark is being forced out. Bjorn will eventually break free. Another Nidus into the main. And Dark is going to have to regroup and kind of rethink his approach here. Pulls back with mainly Ling Hydra. The bases are not really up and running. The economy here in the dumpster for Bjorn. He does need another base up and running. The planetary, oh my god, almost goes down to the one lurker. And where are we going? Where are we headed? What is the next plan here for Dark? Does he go once again through the center? Does he try to punish some of these fringe bases? I mean, the tank wall is still solid towards the south. So there's kind of no way in down here. Okay, Dark pushing out once again. Base is gonna fall. Dark going right through the middle once again, going for the tanks. Decent snipes going off. Some of the tanks are unsieged. Good job, Duck, those Liberators. Yeah, Mass Hydra will shut them down. And once again, Bjorn just hasn't been able to secure this position. Wasn't able to reset his tank count here. Or the planetaries. Oh, not the best trade out of Dark. Losing a lot of Hydras here, trying to break through. Yeah, big tank volleys going off. Hydras are going down. Bjorn, he defends the main. Coming in from behind, sniping the lurkers. GG gets called. Dark, he runs out of steam. And Bjorn will survive. Will take the series to... Oh, sorry. 3-0. GG. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. Dark, he was so close to breaking Bjorn. Again, able to find a weak point here in the defenses of Bjorn. Just avoiding some of those more, like, entrenched positions, especially towards the south. Going right through the middle, catching out Bjorn more than once. Catching him with his pants down, but barely wasn't enough to get into the main and camp the production. That was the win condition for Dark, was to basically commit to the push, to get into the main, and to break into the main base and to camp the production. Alas, barely wasn't able to. And we're just clearing things up here. Just trying to clear things up. GG. Oh, shout out to SC2 in the chat. Thank you so much for resubscribing for 7 months. Gracias, papi, gracias. Thank you so much. We appreciate the support. We appreciate it. Yeah, we're trying to clear things up here just because earlier it was stated that because of the delays, Dark would start -1. But we might still play it out anyway. I don't know. I'm trying to clear things up. Ooh. Here we go. But the series might have just concluded, or we might continue. We'll see, we'll see. Just trying to catch up. I just imagine Dark going on a motorcycle to get there. Yeah, exactly. You race on over. Amazing game. It was fun. It was fun. It's a solid game. But yeah, we're just trying to clear things up while we can. But yeah, for those that are maybe tuning in a little bit later, Dark's internet went down at his apartment, and Dark's internet went down, and he had to... Oh. He had to go to a PC bang. He went to a PC cafe to play, to compete, to participate, which is also why, especially in game one, you could notice, You could notice in game 1 that Dark had some issues with his peripherals, it looked like, or with the setting, and yeah, wasn't too happy about it in that first game. But I'm sure we're all just we're all understanding. Where's Chicken Man, Steadfast, and Dave? Dave was casting earlier. Dave Tesla, he was casting earlier. Chicken Man and Steadfast are otherwise unavailable this week, unfortunately. They are unavailable. I believe some of them are traveling elsewhere, so unfortunately unavailable this weekend. But I'm sure they'll be going over some of the replay casts. I'm sure they'll be going over the replays and going over, or they'll be returning next time as well for the upcoming iterations of KSL. For those that are unaware, the KSL is a bi-weekly event, so every 2 weeks we have the Korean StarCraft League, so you can be a part of this every 2 weeks. Likewise, if you want to support this tournament, !KSL, !KSL in the chat, and you get a link to the Patreon where you can help fund the event yourself. You can help be a part of the community and be a part of the support for the Korean scene. GG. And yeah, we have confirmation. We have confirmation that Björn does take the 3-0, so Björn will be our champion. And also, Dark, so fun fact, Enki was like, hey, you know, we could just play an extra game for fun. And then Dark's like, I can't play here. It's like, okay, it's understandable. Dark, he's like, it's not good. I can't compete from a PC bank, papi. So yeah, understandable. So GG, well played. Björn does take the 3-0, and he is going to be our champion. And meanwhile, a big shout out to SC2 in the chat. Thank you so much for the gifted subs to the community. Papi, thank you so much for the 10 gifted subs. We appreciate the support. Gracias. Thank you so much. Hope you'll enjoy the emotes in the chat. Hope you'll enjoy the replays as well, as we do send out replays to our subscribers. Here we go. But yeah, so you can support the KSL either via Patreon, or you can also support it via Matcherino. Exclamation mark Matcherino in the chat, and you will get a link to the Matcherino page where you can help fund specifically this week's tournament, if you wish. Is this Dark's recent game before he goes to the military? We'll see. Dark may end up playing in some other weekly tournaments. As a reminder, a big shout out to Wardy. Wardy is hosting the Wardy Monday Weekly this Monday. This Monday, Wardy is hosting an event, and that is going to be, in a way, stepping up and replacing the ESL Open Cup Asia. So that's also in a good time slot for Korean players. So we could see a return of Dark on Monday as well. In these online weekly tournaments. Likewise, we're going to have Steadfast, Kalaris, and Rotterdam. They're hosting a replacement weekly for the European weekly as well. And we will be hosting our replacement weekly. I mean, last week we hosted it to replace ESL Americas. This week we are going to be rescheduling. We're rescheduling our weekly. It's going to be tomorrow. Sunday is going to be the Tenacious Turtle Tussle instead of Monday. So we're moving it over to Sunday instead, because there's going to be a new American weekly, the Ursasaurus Cup. There's going to be an Ursasaurus Cup, which is going to be focusing on replacing the NA weekly instead. And it's really cool to see the entirety of the scene step up, whether it's ourselves, whether it's Dave Testa, Chicken Man, Steadfast, Kalaris, Rotterdam, Wardy. We spoke about this yesterday. For those who don't know, we did have a talk show. We did have a podcast. It's on YouTube, and we went over the week's news, and we discussed, you know, the EPT weeklies and the replacement weeklies as well. And I was expressing how proud we should be as a community for, despite things being a little bit bleak and, you know, things being a little bit, you know, uncertain as to the future of SE2, with the EPT weekly stepping away and EPT still focusing on their next iteration of the ESL Pro Tour, or ESL focusing on the next iteration of the ESL Pro Tour in the off season. Everyone stepped up, and we more than replaced what was left before us. And yeah, it was just really cool, and we should be proud. We should be proud of the scene, of the community, and of the support that that StarCraft 2 is getting as well. So shout out to all the other content creators out there as well. Shout out to you know, your Chicken Mans, your Steadfasts, your Wardy, Rotterdam, Kalaris, anyone and everyone involved. Really cool to see. Are we allowed to cast a new weekly? We will be casting the Monday weekly, and we'll be casting the... I should say, we're going to be covering the replacement Asia tournament and the Americas tournament. We could also cast the European one, but I would like to sleep. For those who don't know, I'm living here in Australia, so I need to sleep at some point. So we usually don't cover ESL Open Cup Europe, so we won't be covering the KSR, if I recall correctly, the Kalara Steadfast Rotterdam Cup. We won't be covering that. We won't be covering that. We'll be covering the others though, as always. As always. Chicken Man, yeah, Chicken Man will provide replays. Of course. ESL is releasing a new season. I'm sure there will be a new season announced. We just don't know when, and we don't know the details of it yet. It sounds like ESL are still figuring out what exactly they want to do and how they want to come back. Again, during the podcast, we theorized that, like, you know, even if the circuit comes back, you know, they might do something a little bit different with the weeklies. They might incorporate some other organizers as well. It's possible. Just merely speculation when it comes to what the future of the EPT looks like. But there should be another season, and until the next season, you know, we all have you covered. We have you covered, back. Have you covered. No, it's okay, Dave. It's okay. It's all good, Dave. It's all good. Papi. It's all good. It's all good. But yeah, I guess with that, we're going to be wrapping up here. With that, we are going to be wrapping up. It's all good. But yeah, our next broadcast is going to be in a couple of hours. If Dark gets into it, yeah, that's the thing. It's all good. It's all good. Like, you know, sometimes there are things that happen during a tournament that are out of our control, and it can be really stressful. Just because, especially as tournament organizers, we want to keep things fair. We want to be lenient where we can be, but also, you know, we want to also respect the time of, you know, other players and other people involved as well. So it's all good, Dave. It's all good. It's all good. I mean, the players are already accepting of the results and accepting of the fact that the Dark was starting with a deficit, so it's all good. Nothing to worry about, Dave. Nothing to worry about. Get some rest, Pappy. Get some rest. It's all good. But yeah, with that, our next broadcast is going to be in a couple of hours. I'm going to just quickly double check our schedule, but our next cast is going to be in 3 hours. In 3 hours time, we're going to be live with Sea Duckling Open. If you're curious, what is the Sea Duckling Open and why is there a duck? Because it's a CranKy duckling tournament, Pappy. We have animals for everything, because we are animals. We're animals, Pappy. Yeah. So the next cast on the channel is going to be in 3 hours. Sea Duckling Open is a monthly tournament that we host. It is a bronze to diamond tournament. So if you're listening right now, if you want to take part, if you yourself are between the ranks, the leagues of bronze and diamond, if you're gold, platinum, diamond as well, then you are eligible to play. So you can take part. You can jump in, you can take part in the event if you wish. So yeah, we're going to be hosting our monthly diamond tournament. But there are some limitations as well. So, you know, make sure you check yourself before you sign up. That, of course, being you cannot have reached Masters in the seasons leading up to this event. I believe it's the the previous 3 seasons. So if you've been Masters before, you won't be able to take part. Likewise, there is a minimum ladder game requirement as well. Again, it's just to deter like Smurfs or deter fresh accounts. So make sure you're active on the ladder. Make sure you're actually within the parameters of our rule set, and then you can jump in and take part in Duckling Open. For those who don't know, Duckling Open is how we started back in the day, back in 2017. It was not a monthly, it was a weekly. It's how we started casting here on the CranKy Ducklings. We started with diamond tournaments, and eventually Masters tournaments, and eventually we branched out into pro events like this. But my favorite thing, and I always bring it up, so I apologize if you heard this before, but my favorite thing about that is that we have actually seen the growth of players over time, and we've casted some of these big name pros back in the day when they were diamond. We've casted Mixu when he was diamond. Baby Marine, he didn't play, but he signed up for our Masters Cup a long time ago, many years ago, when he was back before he was GM, before he was more of a pro player. When he was still Masters. But I remember he slept in because he's from Europe, and our events are not the best time slot for Europe. But like he tried to play back in the day as well. Oreo, Ruichi, Starduck, and some other like GG Machine, he's another one that we did cast when he was diamond as well many years ago. So yeah, you know, over time it's a great way to keep players motivated, to give them something to compete in, and to give them a reason to improve and a reason to strive for more, because we host not just diamond tournaments but also Masters tournaments as well, to, you know, kind of like a step up, a way to level up as well. So if you do end up promoting, then you still have something to play in. So yeah, that's how we started. Nowadays we have less time to host them regularly, so it's only a monthly, but you know, we still want to try to host it whenever we can. So if you're interested, then we got you covered. Oh. Also, thank you for another gifted sub, SE2. Gracias. Thank you. When's next diamond tournament? 3 hours. 3 hours, man. 3 hours. Play a game. I need to see. No. If you want to tune into some of my own gameplay, I do not ladder here on the CranKy Ducklings. The CranKy Ducklings is just for tournament casts and for talk shows and maybe some team content. But I do ladder on a daily basis. If you want to see me ladder, I ladder on my personal channel, !light in the chat, and you get a link to my own personal Twitch channel. I do stream on a daily basis, but I don't stream over the weekend because we're busy casting. Our weekends are really busy, and today we have 2 casts. We have this event, KSL, and SDO in 3 hours. So I tried to take a break and not play the game, not ladder in between, because I'll be out of energy. Likewise, tomorrow is going to be Sparkling Tuna Cup as well. If you're curious, tonight is the duck, tomorrow's the tuna. Let's go. The Tuna Cup is a weekly open tournament. It's a weekly open tournament, open to all regions, or to all leagues as well. It is as you can imagine, typically dominated by pro players, but if you want to tune in, then the Tuna Cup is the place to be tomorrow. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Thank you for the support. Once again, to reiterate, support the KSL, support the Korean StarCraft League. Shout out to Dave Testa and Chicken Man, as they have both organized and brought this together, and they do so much for the scene, so much for the community. So much love to Dave and much love to Chicken Man. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next time. I'll see you guys in 3 hours. I will not be casting Duckling Open. I'm going to be adminning. I'm going to be basically, for those that don't know, for the hours leading up to the events, I vet all the players. I just vet all the players. I check their match history. I have a spreadsheet. I tick them off if they're good. I message them if they're not. I like gather information for the Wikipedia, like their flags, where they're from, all that stuff. So I admin the event, and Kuro is going to be casting. Kuro, another big part of the CranKy Ducklings. I mean, the CranKy Ducklings is a team. You know, it's myself, Kuro, Steel Mold, Yakuzaku, many others. Kuro is going to be casting. I will be adminning instead. That is going to plan here, the plan for tonight. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Thank you for the support. If you want to stick around, we're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. Who is live at the moment? Who's streaming right now? Who can we raid? Let's have a look here. I'm like opening up the StarCraft 2 directory. We have Practice X. Let's go. We have Kid Chillin'. We have Cosmic. We have Killjoy. Oh, we have Gnocchi. I kind of want to give some love to Gnocchi. He's raided us a couple of times. Tempting. Is he laddering? Tempting. We'll find someone to raid. So yeah, with that, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. I'm gonna be heading off. Stick around to give you know, whoever we raid a chance to give them some support. If you want to tune into the next KSL, 2 weeks. In 2 weeks' time, we'll have the next Korean StarCraft League, and in 3 hours' time, we'll be live again with Ducklings Open. Until then, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. We'll see you guys next time. Until then, hasta luego. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego. Thanks for watching.